All right, there we go. Now we are officially live streaming on Facebook. So excited to be here with everyone. This is our final reading for American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence for 2023. What an incredible ride it has been with all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited. The list of poets tonight, today, depends on where in the world you are. We have Edward S. Gault, D.L. Lange, Laura Grevel, Elizabeth S. Wolfe, Evelyn Hampton, Liz Minette, Ike Waltz, Shaniyah Parker, Dan Brady, D.G. Clearing, Gail Wasserman, Joan Lange, Chanson Byrd, Doreen Stock, Rick Lupert, Maria del Rosario Perez, Jane SpokenWord, Crip Lyrical, Sydney Conteh, Mr Witz, Ed Poetastic, June Powers, Henry L. Jones, Cynical Insomniac, and our very own Rick Spisak. If you're not on the list but you would like to read, please let me know. I can get you on the waiting list in case someone is not here. You can read in their slot. I'm totally happy to do that. Or if anyone needs to move up, we can try to see if we can squeeze you into something sooner. All right. A couple of quick announcements. So if you have not had a chance yet to get a copy of this book, I highly encourage you to do so. In fact, I was so busy with the technology, I didn't actually grab my copy, which is not that far away, but I will get it when I'm. Thank you, DG. Thank you so much. When I'm after the first reader, I will go grab my copies to be able to show, right? So for those who don't know, who might be watching now or might be watching this back, we did a call for an anthology around poems and artwork that's centered around a call to end gun violence and a collective worldwide call for that. We had hundreds and hundreds of submissions. It was an incredible outpouring from the community, and now we have I think it's 76 contributors in the literary book, which is 200 pages. It's an incredible book. And then from that, we separated out a 50-page art book with 14 contributors, and it's full color art book, just absolutely phenomenal artwork that's in there. So we're going to, I'm hoping, I mean, it's definitely my hope that we have some gallery shows next year. So if anyone has connections with different types of art galleries, let me know. But one of our campaigns next year is going to be art gallery art gallery showings. I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for? All right, so that's going to get some love. And then American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence, the literary anthology. We have sponsor a senator program. So if you don't know what to give your loved one for the holidays, sponsor a U.S. state senator anonymously. You can go on our website, $15, and we will send that to a U.S. state senator of your choice. You can even go to the website and pick specifically whichever states are still left that need to have a book sent to them. It is a wonderful thing, and we'll do it anonymously, so they'll never know who it comes from. It just comes from the press. So please consider that as a gift this year. It's only $15 to do that. Otherwise, the anthology is $25 if you want to get both anthologies together. That's $40. So it's the best $40 I think that you could buy, especially as a gift to give someone this year. And all the money that we make on this book, we're putting towards the second book and continuing to pour back into our continual collective call for an end to gun violence. The other day there was just a shooting on the UNLV campus. So it's a continual nonstop process that we're in. All right, so I have a very fun opportunity coming up for American Graveyard contributors. So for those who were on board when we did the Out Loud podcast live, or we did the Out Loud, the literary LGBTQ anthology, literary art anthology, we turned that into a podcast live show at The Word Is Right, and it meets once a month, and there's different types of contributors and hosts who are on there discussing things around LGBTQ issues. It's become a wonderful show. It's become a wonderful podcast, and I would really love to extend that opportunity for American Graveyard to have a monthly spot at The Word Is Right, with a few core hosts, and then people coming in to read poetry, to lead discussion, to kind of toss around ideas back and forth and just really continue the conversation of gun violence in this country and the world. So if anyone is interested in helping lead a podcast once a month, it would be live on Zoom at The Word Is Right. And then we turn that in on Spotify into a podcast. And since there's so much turnout here for readings of American Graveyard, I'd like to make this an ongoing monthly thing. If anyone is interested in doing that. All right. So some announcements. We have book club at Red or Green Books. So every month we're featuring a new author and a new book, and it's very exciting. So this month we're featuring Kimberly Shaw's inspired by actual events. Sorry. Kimberly was one of our original poets in 2021. So if you've never heard from her or read her book, her author talk will be next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we have Rick Spisak's book is launching. He's in the room. He's also a contributor of American Graveyard. We're super excited. Yes, if you need to pick me up, like, go read Rick's book. Like, it is so sassy and wonderful, and I love it. And it's just you get his voice in your head. And if you can support him, tomorrow is his book launch. The 2024 New Mexico Poetry Summit is scheduled for September 13th, 14th, and 15th right here in Albuquerque. If you go to the website, you can see who all is signed up already to come read, perform. We have musicians, belly dancers, poets, artists. It's going to be an amazing time. It's a 3-day summit. I would suggest to get your tickets early. If you would like to be a featured reader, let me know. I could put you on the waiting list and see if we can work you in on that. And of course, if you've never published a debut book of poetry, a full collection of poetry, the call is open. I am accepting interviews right now for the 2024 debut poets launch. I will tell you, those who are joining the 2024 launch are amazing. So you don't want to miss out. Maybe this is your year. Maybe this is the time you say yes and you put that book of poetry out there. So feel free to email me or send us a message at Red or Green Books, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And let's rock 2024. We're also going to do a call for volume 2 of American Graveyard, Calls to End Gun Violence. So keep your eyes peeled. We will automatically consider your submissions that were not accepted this last year in this next volume, as long as they remain unpublished. So you should be hearing from us next year as we have done that. All right, so here we go. We're gonna rock the party today. We're gonna rock the mic. We have a whole bunch of poets, incredible contributors from this anthology. I would have never thought in a million years I would be blessed enough to be surrounded by so many incredible human beings. A couple of housekeeping rules. I'm just gonna ask everyone to mute. This is not an open mic, so everyone has already signed up to be here. If you would like to read and you're not on the list, let me know, and I will get you on the waiting list so that if there's a scratch or a no-show or someone can't read, then you can fill that slot, and we would love to have you. All right, that being said, this is a collective call for an end to gun violence. You do not have to read your piece from the book. You can read anything that you want that's pertinent to the topic at hand. And there are no trigger warnings that are mandated here. I hope the title of this show is enough of a, hey, this is what we're going to talk about today. But if you would like to use a trigger warning, we will celebrate that for you. But please understand, this is a live reading, and the topic today is an end to gun violence. I'm going to read my piece. Wait, do I have time to read my piece? Wait, hold on. I might not have time. Let me look. I got to stay on time today. Oh, I just got it. Yeah, I got just enough time. All right. Edward, you're next. And then D.L. Lane, you will be after Edward. I'm going to run through this poem real quick since the announcements went a little long. This is Nashville 2023. This is for the parent who sent their kid to school that morning. This is for the school doors not being bulletproof, for the staff who are on the other side of campus, for the phone call that couldn't connect immediately. This is for the 911 operator relaying tragedy. This is for the police car that got stuck in traffic and the officers who did not hesitate to rush in. This is for the administrator who announced, "Lockdown, not a drill." This is for the teacher with not enough hiding places, who didn't have enough arms. This is for the parents who didn't know yet. This is for the size 9 t-shirt that was not Kevlar, for the hand that tried to stop the bullet, for the bone that didn't mean to break, the blood that didn't mean to drain, the muscle that didn't mean to shred, the breath that didn't mean to quit. This is for the heart that didn't mean to stop. This is for the cereal that didn't mean to be a last meal. This is for the adrenaline that couldn't fix it, for the EMTs who couldn't arrive fast enough, for the paramedics who couldn't work a miracle, ER doctors with not enough blood transfusions, and the surgeon who could not say, "Your baby made it." This is for those who discovered the bodies and those who delivered the news. This is for the bullet that never wanted to be born to cause death, for the gun that never consented to slaughter. This is for the white crosses and red Mylar heart balloons, for the candlelight vigils and families who lost loved ones. This is for the coroner and the casket, for the death certificate and the burial. This is for the grieving ground saturated with blood and for all who will die tomorrow. This is for the poets who document the loss. This is for all the stolen futures, all the dreams never to come true, for all the empty beds and dinner plates, all the grief and tears and rage. This is for those who run towards danger and those who look the other way, for the lawmakers who get loud and protest, and those who haven't lost enough yet. This is for the change that must come. This is for love not being enough. This is for the heartbreak and the hope we are losing more and more every day. Thank you. All right, let's go. Wow. Each poet has about 10 minutes. If you go over or under, that's fine. Just don't go over too much, right? We have a lot of people to keep here. If you need to know how much time you have left, please let me know, and I will tell you. All right, first up, we got Edward Gault, Magister Gault. Here we go, sir. Let me highlight you.
Thank you. This one I'm calling Sydney. It's a poem called Sydney. Dear Sydney, I have never written to someone I don't know. I didn't even know who you were until the other day when you walked into the schoolyard and shot our boy and 7 others. You weren't from our town. You didn't know them. So why? I would like to tell you just a little of our son Joy, so you will know who you took away from us. He was very bright. He tutored other kids in math. He loved scouting. He reached first class and had a board of knots he had tied displayed in his room. I know he would have reached Eagle. I would have liked to have seen that and would have liked to have been at his graduation. One of my best memories with him was when he was 9. We went fishing. I taught him how to put the worm on his hook. I'll never forget the look on his face when he pulled in his first fish. All that is over now. You ended it. All those other children had stories too. Their families could tell you. We will all tell you when we see you in court. The prosecutor expects that you will get life. You will never marry. You will never have a boy like Joy or like any other children. You won't take them fishing. You won't be there at their birthdays. You won't see them graduate. I want you to think about that day after day, year after year, while you serve your life in prison, because that is the sentence I am serving now. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing. Did you want to do another one, or is okay? um, I understand. I understand. This is a lot. Today is going to be a big day, but I'm really glad that we get to do this together, um, and I hope that being together in this way brings some healing, at least a sense of community that you're not alone. So I thank you so much for your contribution, Edward. All right, D.L. Lang, you're up next, followed by Laura Grevel.
Hi everyone, honored to be here for such an important reading. I'm going to do two poems. One is in the book and one is from my book, Midnight Strike. In 1999, I was 15, and 9 days after Columbine, a kid put a pipe bomb in our high school bathroom, and the entire school had to be evacuated. When I was 22, a fellow college student tried to blow up the football stadium at the University of Oklahoma during a game. While mass tragedy was thankfully prevented in both of these incidents, I can empathize with the terror of not feeling safe on a school campus, and it really saddens me that the younger generations are still facing this at an ever-growing rate. That's why I called this poem The Same Old Bloody Song. It's been over 20 years since Columbine, and the narratives remain the same. Instead of solving the problems, they send empty thoughts and prayers while stuffing their bank accounts with blood-soaked corporate shares. Avoiding criticizing their munitions sponsors, the media pontificates on what is to blame. They blame it on video games. They blame it on the mentally ill. They blame it on song lyrics. They blame it on childhood trauma. If these things were really to blame for this nation's greatest shame, this would happen far more often than the thousands of times that it does. So many people fit those categories, and they never once pick up a weapon, destroying children within their aim. The murderer is responsible, but society is also culpable for the culture it generates. They ignore the ideologies of hate that killers feed into their minds. Lawmakers are responsible for the ease at which he obtains the tools for his destruction, making them accomplices to this endless bloodshed. They ignore the warning signs, let the stories fade with time, until the next killer, seeking infamy, broadcasts his awful crime, because he knows the news will obsessively chronicle a mass shooting every time. The cops remain cowardly, preferring to cower in the face of danger as children are sacrificed to the god of profit. Often politely arresting these white perpetrators, they'll shoot and kill an unarmed black man without a second thought. This country cares more about the arms industry than it does for the safety of its children, its congregants, and its citizens. The people's pleas go unheard for decades. This country brainwashes its children to see the men with the guns as the heroes, normalizing them by playing with toy guns until one day the kid picks up a real one, convinced his cause is justified. A gun is a serious responsibility that should not be given lightly. Yet these politicians pose with rifles in their holiday greeting cards, profaning the sacred moments with wife and small children in tow, bullets handed out like candy canes at their Wild West circus show, encouraging the vicious cycle that shall leave us all for dead. But oh, thank heavens that the stock markets thrived instead. This country cares more for its weapons than it cares about its people. A gun is more affordable than health care. A gun is treated better than a teacher. A gun is given more rights than women. We will all lock ourselves away in fear, increasing suspicion, surveillance, and security, just to further the line the bulging pockets of a wealthy CEO of a heartless corporation rather than passing reasonable gun legislation. Your right to own a weapon should be well regulated, instead of this endless massacre of which we're all fated. The only difference between a good guy with a gun and a bad guy with one is what it is being used for. Violence is always a choice. You do not have to follow that train of thought to fruition. You can find a peaceful solution or simply exit the situation. This next one is called A World Without Bullets. You say to yourself, reading the newspapers, that could have been me. We must not let it change us for the worse. We must not hide ourselves from the beauty that life has to offer. We must not allow fear to stop us from getting an education, worshiping in our sanctuaries, enjoying live music, watching films upon the big screen, dancing the night away, working in our professions, eating out at restaurants, hanging out at the local mall, competing at gaming conventions, or seeking medical treatment. We must continue to be defiant in the face of fear by enthusiastically participating in life. We must demand a world where it is safe for people to live their daily lives. A world where the weapons of war cannot be purchased at your local drugstore. A world where those with power cease to close their ears, ignoring all of our tears. Stop offering up empty words with a side of inaction while people continue to die. Stop giving in to the demands of the greedy, for you are sanctifying the hatred of the unhinged, rather than acting that their deaths be avenged. For all their sakes, we must demand peace, live peace, breathe peace, be peace. We can have a world free of bullets, but it is up to you to get it. Thank you very much.
Ooh, let's go. And, I'm okay if y'all want to unmute in between people, kind of like give an exhale. Whew. Violence is a choice.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Demand peace, breathe peace, be peace.
I know it's hard to be so joyful and jovial when we're talking about this kind of thing, but I think at some point, we have to break up and just kind of applaud one another and give gratitude for this event. So thank you all for being here. All right, next up, I have Laura Grevel and then Elizabeth S. Wolfe. You will be on deck. Evelyn Hampton, you are in 2.
Okay, thank you, Marissa. I'm going to read the 2 that were in, well, sorry, one is in the book, this first one, and the second one's not. And this is called I'm an American Who Wants. I'm an American who once was a child, walking summer streets, barefoot and bareheaded, purpose-filled with watching the trees, hearing the birds, being part of the air, smiling at the sky. Who once was young, riding my bike in the heat of the night, beneath the cool stare of the moon. The porches were filled with darkness and cats, with plants and chats, and windows of light. Who once bussed to school and sat in class where our minds were filled with worries about tests, if our homework was done, did our hair look a sight, would we, with split-second timing, spy the cute one who spun our hearts? Who once smiled at strangers, good morning, we said, nodded our heads, knowing the comfort of that brief shared moment with fellow human while going somewhere. Who once sat in restaurants, relieved of the cooking, eating chips and salsa calmly, chatting with friends. The purses were filled with brushes and Bic pens and wallets and lipstick. Who once went to work and sat at my desk, chewing on doubts about my car repair, my not so true love, my profession, the tedious scenes and numbers to crunch while waiting for lunch. I'm an American, who once lived in a land where every second wasn't spent judging the faces, where every second wasn't spent scanning for exits, where every second wasn't spent counting the dead, where days were filled without the fear of looking down the barrel of a gun. The next piece is called Best Country in the World, and people used to say that in the 80s and the 90s, I remember, and I've lived now in a number of other countries, and I don't think any other country have said that, so it's interesting that America says that, and I don't know if they still do, because I don't live there anymore. but I lived there 40 years, so I do know it well. So this is called Best Country in the World. Best country in the world, we say, as guns rise up to aim, as hands close over shaft. Best country in the world, we sing, as eyes put bead on target. Best country in the world, you ask, as fingers touch the trigger. Best country in the world, we cry, as we wash and dress our dead. The legless walk down the street, the fingerless play flute behind. The bleeding swim with shining wings. The march is such a sight. Our mouths fill with crimson waves. Our time is running out. Crow flies from tree to tree, visiting the graves. Sun raises up tired eyes, wants not to see us play. We create our own apocalypse. Now comes the break of day. Thank you.
Oh man. Y'all can unmute your mics for Laura. Was that it, Laura?
That was the end. Yeah, I'm stopping there. And this weird thing on my arm is because I hurt my arm and my arm's in a sling.
Oh no.
That was breathtaking. Thank you.
Nice read, Laura. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna keep it
amazing, Laura.
Yes, thank you all so much for the feedback. Feel free, when everyone's done reading to do that. Welcome those who are joining us. Welcome back, Maria and Evelyn. Welcome Doreen and Ed Poetastic and Jane SpokenWord and Eike Waltz and Dan Brady. Thank you all so much for being here. If you have not got your copy of American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence, please do so. You can also do a sponsor a senator for the holidays. And our art book, one of our big pushes next year is going to be to do gallery shows with some of the artwork from this book. So there's going to be a lot of things happening next year. If y'all missed the big announcements, I'll probably remake the announcements about halfway through for the opportunities we have to take American Graveyard this year. All right, next up, we have Elizabeth S. Wolfe, followed by Evelyn Hampton and Liz Minette. Those are our next three readers. Elizabeth, let me go ahead and do a share screen so that everyone can share screen. That will only be y'all for this reading. I'm not going to leave it on the whole time, but hopefully that should work for you now, Elizabeth. Let me spotlight you. Okay.
I see it in green. Let me see. Well, we'll stop other participants' computer sound share. Okay, you're just going to have to listen to me.
You can do so if you do the screen share and you bring it up, there's a little box in the bottom left corner that you can click that says share sound, and it should let you share screen and sound.
All right, let's see. Can you see my screen?
It's loading.
Can I make this full screen? I don't have anything in the bottom that allows that I see.
When you did the share screen?
Oh, I was looking to pick what I was going to share. So if it was there, I didn't see it.
So yeah, so go ahead and exit out of this share screening. That way you can get back in it, but this time before you click share, click that little button first.
Okay.
All right.
So
I know all these tips and tricks, things that we learned during Zoom, right?
So I still don't have it. I just have a little share at the bottom asking me what I want to, which screen I want to share.
Okay, so what you can do, you don't have like a drop down for a share sound or a little button for a share
There
sound
we go.
option?
I just found it.
Perfect.
All right. How's that? Now you have to wait for my screen to paste again.
But we see your screen. That's good.
So
once you press play, we'll see if we can hear it too.
So let me tell you what this is. somebody at the end of the last reading shared a video poem, and I was absolutely blown away. Marissa, can you stop recording for a moment, for 4
Okay,
moments?
let me escape out of the share screen real quick. Hang on one sec.
So I am working on a collection that is tentatively called Parenting in the Age of Columbine. And this is the anchor poem of that collection. And I read it in another reading, and someone said that should really be a video poem. And I, of course, have absolutely no idea how to do that. So I was very fortunate.
It does not let me. It does not let me pause the live. So I would have to stop it, and then it would be a totally different video to read.
Yeah.
Is it because is it like copywritten work?
No, everything that is not mine is public domain.
Okay, so then you shouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay. So yes, what I did is someone helped me make this, and I got all the music and all the images are public domain. And I sent them how I wanted it to go in several examples, and this is what I got back. April 1999. My daughter was born the week after Columbine. My daughter was born new, coated in vernix, raw, startling, a gift, a challenge, a chance for a major do-over. Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. High schoolers, trench coats, crackling security films, 911 calls, voicemails to parents, kids dripping out of windows, the taunts and screams and all that blood. Blue eyes, tiny toes, wrinkly fingers splayed like starfish patting my breast, downy hair, inked footprint on the birth announcement, proclaiming our expanded family. Every time you pick a baby up, every time you change her, bathe her, feed her, smile at her, she's getting the feeling that she belongs to you and you belong to her. Nobody else in the world, no matter how skillful, can give that to her. They were bullied. They were monsters. Where were the parents? It's the music. It's the price of free love. It's the guns. It's permissiveness, mental illness. Children with changed voices who 3 days prior danced at prom, slaughtered, maimed, traumatized. A friend gave me an archival box as a baby gift, a repository for the Sunday front page, weekly news magazines, grocery circulars, contemporary history for the baby to appreciate as an adult, if she survived. I burned the printed pages, spread gray ash over bulbs planted the past fall. Raising children is more and more puzzling for many parents because we've lost a lot of our old-fashioned convictions about what kind of morals, ambitions, and character we want them to have. We are uncertain and worried about what kind of world awaits them as adults. We were all changed that week. We all wore our cloak of perspective just a little differently. Mothers are forever altered after giving birth. Deep down in their marrow, their bloodstream, the complex pinging patterns of their brains. My goal, to raise a worthy child, someone both strong and kind, who could outshine the bursts from the muzzle of a gun. In many ways, we have lost our faith in the meaning of life and our confidence to understand our world and our society.
Wow. Beautiful.
Wow.
Nice piece, nice video. Thank you. Powerful.
Maybe we could make that something that we could have everyone's poem be put in a digital video format like that and do a VO, a voiceover for it. That was stunning, Elizabeth. Do you have something you want to read?
I have one short poem because I wasn't sure if that video was going to work on a shared. It's from the same collection. This is December 14, Every Year We Remember. On the day the babies died, President Obama said to hug your children, and he cried. On the day the babies died, my baby was in middle school, working as an intern at the after-school program for grades K through 6. When she arrived at work, teachers were crying. They had 20 minutes to get ready. That afternoon, the school was in lockdown. Adult supervisors at the outside doors, college staff in the hallways, interns in a ring around the little kids, all gathered together inside a cleared-out cafeteria. My 13-year-old's body, the last barrier between these babies and a bullet. Thank you.
Y'all, let's go. Feel free to unmute your mics and give some love to Elizabeth.
Fabulous.
Just stunning.
It was amazing, Elizabeth.
Yeah, that was very powerful.
So powerful. Thank you.
They say that we retain a certain percentage of what we hear, a certain percentage of what we see, a certain amount of what we hear and see, and a certain percentage of what we hear, see, and do. So having that visual is incredibly effective. So let's, if anyone is interested in helping to figure out how to make these videos come to life, I'm totally on board with trying to figure out how to make that happen. It's just another avenue of art that we can use as a tool to convey a message, right? To convey what we're trying to get across. And it's highly effective, in my opinion. All right.
Excuse me. I am a beginner at this micro documentary format. So let me practice, and then I'll put out the word if I can help anybody.
That would be lovely. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much, Maria, for that.
You're welcome.
All right, let's keep going. If you missed the opening of the show, you missed the fun announcements and the opportunities we have for American Graveyard. So I will repeat those when we're about halfway through. If anyone is interested in the 2024 horizon of what we got planned for American Graveyard, that would be awesome. So now let's just do another thing. And if anything, I hope Elizabeth's video stretches your belief muscles about poetry. It's not just spoken word or page poetry, right? It can also become this incredible video, audio, digital. Maria called it a micro documentary poem to convey a message. So, if anything, hopefully it inspires you to get out your comfort zone and try something different. All right, we have Evelyn Hampton. You're up next.
Okay.
Followed by Liz Minette, and then Eike Waltz. Let me find Evelyn so that I can spotlight her. Hi, there you are. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and it's all yours.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay. This poem is not in the book, but it is an anti-gun poem, if I'm allowed to read that. And I just want to hold it up a little bit. If you can see at the bottom, the bottom lines are in the shape of a gun. And this is called Dear Gun Manufacturers. Hello, remember me? I was that little girl who toted your 22 on my bicycle to go target shooting at cans on our farm. Remember how my dad kept your loaded guns propped up in the bedroom in case of a rabid animal, a terminally ill pet, a hawk stealing the chickens? You might remember how my brother earned a sharpshooter medal in the Army for being so accurate with one of your M14s. And my uncle, how he hunted deer, ducks, rabbits to put food on the table in the Depression. You were the ones who made sure the military and law enforcement held the deadliest stash of weaponry to have the upper hand against the bad guys, so we would feel safe everywhere we went. I grew up with your guns, remember? I know their prior purposes, but now the wrong guns are in the wrong hands of the wrong people for all the wrong reasons. Your weapons, the leading cause of childhood death. Do you not read the headlines or hear the body count? So many innocents slaughtered by your weapons. Little children. My God, how can you stand by? Why are you silent? What has changed you? Why are you not screaming? Stop, enough. Your guns are killing and maiming over 300 daily. What evil has possessed you? Do something, do anything. Stop this insane carnage. Every time someone pulls the trigger, every time your prophets tear the flesh of another human being, every time you pander to politicians, remember at every funeral, for every broken heart, it is you pulling the trigger. Stop, enough. Dear God, I pray.
Oh my gosh, Evelyn. Did you have another one you wanted to read? I don't want to interrupt or stop anyone before they're ready to go, before they're
Well, I just have the one from the book.
Well, you're welcome to read it if you want. I mean, you also don't have to take the full time. Everyone has 10 minutes, but if you don't want to take the full time, you don't have to either.
I can read the one from the book.
Okay.
This was for my brother, for Paul. It has an epigraph. Every year, an average of 185 people in New Jersey die by gun suicides, and 12 are wounded by gun suicide attempts. This is from Gun Violence in New Jersey. Returning from physical therapy and a quick trip for some groceries, she called out to him from the kitchen. No response. She assumed he was in the yard. Through the window, she could see him, lying as usual in the sun on his lounge chair. Napping, no doubt, she chuckled. At lunchtime, she went out to wake him. His right arm dangled at his side. She called his name. She called again. Then she saw the pistol on the ground. The August sun blazed down. She screamed. She felt faint. She ran for her phone for 911. An ambulance arrived. Police arrived. They discovered notes for her and his family. His sister and brother-in-law arrived. The cops enlisted him to help clean up pieces of skull, chunks of hair, the body covered, carried off. The gun was confiscated as evidence. The gun bought for home protection. There were some teenagers riding motorcycles and some new neighbors that looked different.
All right, y'all. Y'all are welcome to unmute, please, and give some support to Elizabeth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Nice read. Nice read. Just right here.
Look different,
right there.
carries so much weight there. Different.
Thank you. Those are very nice pieces. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know it's hard to be cheery and upbeat, with the content that we're talking about today, but I do hope that you all find a sense of community and a collective empathy and acceptance and understanding in this group. I hear a lot of different stories, but I hear the same heart from all of you. So thank you. All right, Liz Minette, let me find her. Hi, Liz. There you are. You look so nice and warm. That looks super soft, that sweater. And then after Liz, we'll have Ike and then Shaniyah.
All right. I'm going to read a new piece, a new poem here, and on topic. And it's just it's called Guns. The brass key labeled Guns sits soft in the velour of the box, holding it and other keys, one labeled Ammo, another labeled Safe. The brass key opens the gun cabinet, holding 4 guns I've never fired. 3 of them my father's, 1 my grandfather's. The stag my grandfather shot in a blizzard 1 year south of town. With what gun I don't know. The stag's taxidermied head is mounted in our garage, has been there for decades. With age, the stag's countenance has taken on a sneer, old teeth showing, stuffing popping out, a broken velvet nose. The key labeled Ammo opens the drawer below the gun cabinet. The drawer holds a cache of 12-gauge shells. There is a Similac box in the next room holding more. My mother penned letters to her nephews who hunt to see if any of them wanted the unspent shells. Only one nephew wrote back, Gregory, in his careful script and recycled mailing envelope. Gregory with the bad aorta, who said he would come by and pick the ammo up. He never did. The unspent shells are still in their drawer below the gun cabinet, in the box that used to hold baby formula. Ammo unspent, safe. And that's it.
All right, let's go. That was your last one, Liz?
Yeah, that was just the one.
Good read, Liz. Good read. Powerful poem. Thank you.
Thank you, DJ.
It reminds me to like when we first started on Zoom, one of the habits a lot of the poets overseas would do is they at the end of their poem they would say poem, and that way you would know they were done. And people wonder, so I kind of do that out of habit, but I try not to interrupt people too much, and then if I do and you're still reading, I feel like a total jerk. If I ask you, was that it? It's not. I don't want to rush you or anything. I just want to make sure I'm not being a jerk. Okay. All right, Liz. If anyone wants to unmute and give Liz some love, please do so.
Well done.
That was
Great
great.
read, Liz. Thank you. Thank you so much. Powerful.
Thank you.
We can't forget the courage it takes to get up here and speak on this issue in this current atmosphere of the world we're living in. So thank you for being supportive of one another. I know that is felt widely. Eike Waltz is here. And I just love Eike. And then after Eike, I have Shaniyah on the list. I don't see her in the room. So Dan Brady, you're on the waiting list. If you want to take, unless I'm wrong, Shaniyah, if you're here, let yourself be known, please, in the chat or message me. But I don't see you, my dear. So if Dan wants your spot, it is his. If not, he said he had a phone call to make, so he might not be back yet. So if Shaniyah is not here, that means we'll go wait, I got Dan Brady on the list after Shaniyah, so he must have got his name on the list. He's so funny. He was like, I want to be on the waiting list, but I see Dan, you're on the list. So it's technically Eike, Shaniyah, Dan. But if Shania's not here, Dan, you'll be next, and then DG, and then Gail. All right, Eike, let me spotlight you real quick, sir. There you go.
How namesake laws came to fruition. One must understand the horrendous and morbid story behind the names attached to these laws. Here are two of the more well-known namesake laws, the Amber Alert and Megan's Law. In short, these namesake laws are created from the public's outcry at such disgusting crimes committed and are passed and enforced to appeal to the public's pathos by taking steps to protect victims from similar fates. People nationwide collectively mourn from their couches as they watch families and communities be torn apart from the loss of a daughter, a son, a sister, a brother, a father, a mother. My question remains. It seems that the law of the land is inadequate either to prevent or deal with such tragedies, reacting only to public outcry. It seems naming a law after a victim possibly outcome for the worst possible situation? Or do we have to accept the shortcomings and persistently racist inequality of the law by handling out carefully selected painkillers as a cure? Name the namesake laws. When the news entertains us with unspeakable tragedies, abductions, murders, rape, assault, child abuse. In reality, we expect justice from the law, like reality shows where the goodies always win. We can't believe in them. Seemingly, out of nowhere, our trust is broken, and ignorance wonders why. And ignorance does not share who, and ignorance does not care for who. And the lawyers argue in conclusion, it is more important to win a case rather than justice is done. Deep-rooted legalized corruption, nurtured in the absence of common sense, what a defense. We sugarcoat victims and provide justice in the name of namesake laws. But what does it really do and mean? We promise a monument to the victim. We decorate the nation with promises, with namesake public reaction. We decorate the public offices with namesake plaques of action and dubious compassion to remind us all, this is how we make law, public law in your personalized name. This is how we make law, public law in your personalized name. And the more namesake plaques we hang, posthumous loopholes we plug, the more loopholes we unfortunately recognize and even defend. Well, the namesake law restores honor. Let's play that popular namesake game. with the sweet bliss of justice, like fail, with the namesake plague boomerang on only white men's priority wall, exposing even more reality, inequality in the namesake claim. White men has the first choice by far on the whitewashed wall. Black men on the receiving end, hardly worth a mention. Yes, where is seemingly some fair justice done? But inequality makes the white man rich, heaps pieces with blonde and blue-eyed, namesake glorified. What is helpless? What a sinister whitewash. And all we want is justice, equal for all, not a milquetoast namesake plague hanging on white men's priority wall, not another anecdotal footnote, unsolved history burning painful into black man's soul. But will we see any changes? Let's recall the 14th Amendment, 1868, equal protection of the law, equal, equal, equal. And trust in the law, yet the promise so long overdue. That's all. My second one, son of a gun, or when the second shoots the first into the foot. I admit I came to America to make money, build a house, sit in it, open the window and look at the sea, birds and bees, like anybody else. Yes, I let my cat respond to the knock on the door. Knock, knock, who's there? And my cat says, meow. Only to realize the profound American love for legalized corruption, often mistaken for freedom, and so patriotically proclaimed. And then I was lucky to listen to Mahalia Jackson singing the traditional American spiritual, "He's got the whole world in his hands." Not only being captivated by the simplicity of its magic words, or being fascinated by her innate musicality, but being deeply touched by the genuine tears escaping her eyes. With tears in my eyes. Once I became an American. So let me repeat. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got my brothers and my sisters in his hands. He's got all mothers and fathers in his hand. And then he's got a gun in his hand. He's got a mean gun in his hand. He's got a gun in his hand. He's had a bad, bad day and each will out. He shot a brother in the head. He shot his big brother in the head. He shot a sister in the back. He shot his sweet little sister in the back. He shot a mother in her bed. He shot them all in cold blood. He's got an angry gun on his mind. He's got an angry gun in his ears. He's got an angry gun up his nose. He's got an angry gun in his mouth. He's got a target in his mean eyes. He's got a target in his cold side. And then, let's not forget the mean gunner, a misguided Magasan, the mean gunner, a disgruntled kid or man. And a mean gunner has access to any whatever gun, misguided by legalized corruption and by whatever motive under the sun, misguided by an outdated Second Amendment only constitutional lawyers comprehend, misguided by a perverse interpretation of freedom, misguided by misguided shareholders. As long as killing machines turn a profit, we don't care. Misguided by a misguided system that promotes the right to kill my world. Yes, now he's got a gun in his hand. He's had a mean gun till his end. And then He had the whole world in one hand, the same hand that pulled that trigger, till his end. The same hand that dropped that blooded gun on an end. And all the silver bullets in his defense do not help, do not understand. He's got no flowers on his grave, he's got no tears that forgave. And all that automatic gun did not make him that exceptional, free, brave American man. Yes, he's had a violent gun, one of the best. And I have a painful lump in my chest. And then he's had the whole world in his hands. He's had my whole world in his hands. Thank you.
Oh man, let's go.
What a read.
Great job, Eike.
Feel free to give Ike some feedback if y'all want to unmute your mics. You're welcome to.
Love the use of that common song. I mean, how can you not associate the violence? And then, I was like, well, that's pretty ingenious to do that. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yes, that was quite clever. Really good.
Amazing
Hi.
piece.
Oh, can I? Oh, hi, Gail Wasserman, an attorney. So I think you should not say all attorneys don't work for the justice, just for the whatever. I forget what you said. We're not all clumped together as one. All right, there are many of us that work for justice. Obviously, I'm here.
Obviously, and
But
we're
it is so typical. Let's face it. It is so typical for America, an American law system, that it's more important to win a case than justice is done. And
That's
I will
not true.
step from this.
Okay, well, but I'm not going to make that an argument between you and I. I strongly disagree with that. Okay, it's very important to me to get justice for my clients, and justice usually is often winning the case. Okay,
Good for you.
I think it historically, yeah. I mean, I definitely look at officers of the court as being of the highest ethical standards should be. We're talking about people. There's a great deal of people working behind the scenes to effectively reverse a lot of miscarriages of justice that have historically occurred. But moving forward, I mean, anyone who is an officer of the court should, in my opinion, be held in the highest ethical standard.
Yes.
Period. And there are a great deal of attorneys and clerks and judges and even kids in law school who are fighting to make a difference in that. It's hard to lump them all into one group. But yes,
And
Gail,
I do not intend to do that.
You're an officer of the court, and you're esteemed in this group as being one who has an incredibly high ethical standard, and we appreciate you for fighting the good fight of what you're doing, because so many of us don't know what you know, and we can't help people the way you can help people. So,
thank you, Marissa. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's go. All jokes aside, attorney jokes will be on Friday. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just. Right, we got to be able to laugh a little bit about poke ourselves a little bit.
That's okay. I got a shark doll for my.
In all seriousness, we wouldn't be able to move the needle without people like Gail. So, everyone brings something to the table. So, thank you for doing what you do. All right, I do not see Shaniyah here. So we're going to move on. Dan Brady, I've got you up next. Let me see if I can find Dan to spotlight him. After Dan is DG, and then Gail, and then Joan, you'll be in 3. Hi, Dan. How are you? It's good to see you again. Let me spotlight you. Okay.
I want to say hello to everybody and extend my appreciation to all the work that's been done so far here. All the poetry that I've heard in this room is just like, you can't believe it. And I'm going to make a quick posting in the chat over there That's two things really. It's the open mic that I host every Wednesday night, except for the end of this month and the beginning of January. I have a winter break. And then the global open mic, which is my way of finding venues that live stream poetry around the world. I'm always looking for more of them. I want to add them. There's, several dozen on there now, but I'm looking for more. So it's also a way forward in the world. There's a bit about why I make the global open mic, why I do the listing. It's a way forward for social evolution. And you can check the link out and see the little bit of text on that. Anyway, so 3 pieces should fit into the time spot here. I'll begin with this. It's untitled. Prayers fall from lips. When the heart calls out, when the soul is in need or cast in doubt, because you are lost or it is lost in you, and you have lost sense of what's true. Worse is conflating that confusion with pain or pleasure when it seems time ceases or has no measure. Prayers can be talks with oneself, one's wishes or fears, one's hopes, joys, ecstasies, or marked by tears. Prayers fall from the lips, motioning, but then they rise to the occasion, to the heart of this universe. This is no surprise. It makes perfect sense. And so they become us as we become them. Is there any difference? Is there any reason to expect they ever do leave us? They never do leave us. So that's just a quick introduction. This has to do with today's news. Today's news. Did you hear there's been another bombing? In today's news, the facts are sketchy, shadowy, you know how that goes, but there are maybe a dozen killed and a bunch sent to the hospital. Oh my God, today. This time, we got some deets on the perps because they are on record just as their supporters and enablers are. So we don't need to sleuth about or investigate. Still, our so-called authorities are not in hot pursuit. Won't be. This bombing, women and children splattered on bullet-riddled walls, other remains, charred husks curled up inside smoldering remains of vehicles as writhing survivors, horribly burned, blinded, or dismembered, scream. Ambulance worked it. There were a few sound bites of grief giving millions and millions a chance glance on the 6 o'clock news. There were somber statements, appeals concerning another fleeting moment of infamy. But oh my God, it's another one. What is this world coming to? Who does this kind of thing and why? What gets me to no end, no one decries the hate mongering, damns the kind of disaffected, sociopathic, psychopathic monsters, inhuman humans who target children at a playground, mothers in a hospital, tourists on a bus, a church in Georgia, a synagogue in Chicago, a school mall, a dance hall. It's a bombing. Where? You look as if you don't know. Haven't you seen the news today? Don't know where it happened this time? Does it matter? Does it matter to the dead, the suffering, the perps? Does a hate crimes location matter? As I said, no one but no one needs to pick through the debris for evidence. No need to speculate on the perpetrators. We know all we need to know about them, and they won't be put on trial. I can promise you that. Puzzled looks. But it was in the news, though you'd have to take pains. Read between the lines to see the details. Imagine the moonscape of rubble, the smoldering wreckage, the smell of blood in Yemen, Palestine, Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Eritrea. Oh, you say, I see what you mean. A bombing. I thought you meant, well, I know what you thought I meant, but a bomb is a bomb, war is war, hate is hate, and hell on earth is hell. Think on this when you read the words sortie, payload delivered, target degraded, arms deal, handshake, foreign aid, intervention, training programs, advisors, border dispute, involvement, concern, defense contract, foreign assistance, security funding. They all mean something else. Blood running out faster than time ever does. Someone gasping, searching with blinded eyes, grasping at the thin air in front of them as they try to move, lips split and bleed, say one last thing, as if someone is listening, as if someone could understand, as if someone will do something. Bombing. Just another bombing. Happens every damned day. So that's from the news. And I'm going to conclude with this one, more or less on the topic of the anthology, called Another One Bites the Dust. Goes back a bit in time. Another one, yet another. This time a synagogue in Philadelphia yet already, the city of brotherly loves, the Tree of Life Synagogue. Nice name, nice neighborhood, nice day. Sunny and all that, quiet yet serene, when a crazed loony and noted rabid anti-Semite who said, I can't sit by and watch my people get slaughtered, said, I'm going in, and by God, he did. Guns a-blazing, people screaming and dying, police shot up, while the perp wounded down is taken to hospital. Then there follows the usual coverage of grief, crying, shrieking, same oh. Still, there were things to mull over. Someone said, it looks like an anti-Semitic crime. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, wow, what insight. Of course, the Bethuglian resident dimbulb, the dump, weighed in. It's a terrible, terrible thing, he said. If there had been an armed guard inside that temple, he said. What a lame-brained idiot. But it was Governor Tom Wolfe saying, quote, these senseless acts of violence are not who we are as Americans. And that's what prompted this, my take on the matter. First, he's just plain wrong on that score, dead wrong. In fact, this event was as American as apple pie, as they used to say. Gun killings happen every day, dozens of times a day, thousands. Let that think in. Thousands die every year, actually tens of thousands every year. In fact, during the Vietnam War, we had far more dead and dying on the streets of America than we ever did in the battlefields of that godforsaken conflict. Go back, do the math, it's there, public knowledge. Yet where are the daily, weekly vigils and marches? Where is the countrywide public display and outcry? I have asked this before. What will it take? What in God's name will it take? Yeah. Go back to your 1,000-channel media centers, your music videos, posting selfies, log into your investment portfolios, go to work, do your job, buy something already, enjoy your tiny lives, offer prayers, send a check, hang your head at the water cooler and say, it's just terrible. Tell yourself it's just another lone wolf. Then look up the terms stochastic terrorism. See what it means. Learn from what's going on. Brainwashing by the brigade, perps prompted by propaganda, malevolent minds manipulated by the media. It's all there. The maps, the dots, the connections, and yet good Christian ministers spew it, the residential dim bulb spews, and the innocent, unwary, or simply luckless die as they attend a nice place of worship in a nice neighborhood on an ordinary day when the wind is soft, the air sweet, and love, oh love, is murdered by madness.
Oh man, y'all, unmute
Powerful,
yourself.
powerful,
Give it
powerful.
up for Dan Brady.
I'm speechless.
I got a little nervous when you said today in the news because I haven't been watching the news, and I thought, oh, wait, no.
Yeah, it's in the news every
They're
day.
dropping sorties in some place of the world, dozens of places, really. So,
Yeah.
you know, it works for today. So I don't know. Sorry.
No, don't apologize ever. You're right. It's every day. It's every day somewhere in the world, which is why we're here. We're here to document the history and write it as it actually is happening in real time, and then to voice our experiences and collectively come together to show that the masses want change. That we need change, we require change, we demand change, and we will not stop until there's change happens. That's it. All right. Next up, so thank you, Dan, so much. DG Clearing, Go Pack Go. My Packer poet in arms is up next, and then Gail Wasserman, you are after DG, and then Joan will be after Gail. Let me go ahead and spotlight him. You look so dapper as always, DG. Thank you for being here, and it is all yours.
Thanks, Marissa. It is so good to be here. It is very sad to be here also. First, I'd like to thank Marissa and Red and Green Books for being the brave publishers that they are in doing this. Everybody, thank you, Marissa. Thank you. I've got one poem for you tonight or this afternoon. It's from the book. Casey Goodson. Casey Goodson fell to his kitchen floor, 5 shots in the back, his keys in the door. Bang, bang, bang! A subway on the floor. Casey Goodson fell to the kitchen floor. His little brother saw him murdered in the door. Blood from the butchering went splat, splat, splat on the shiny linoleum floor. Casey Goodson fell to the kitchen floor. Grandma saw her grandson die like her family before. Help, 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 she said, as he died on her cleanly waxed floor. Casey Goodson fell to the kitchen floor, shot and splattered just coming through the door. He didn't do anything. Now a young man is dead on the floor. Casey Goodson is dead on the floor. The cop shot an innocent man for having his keys in the door. Bang, bang, bang. Now he's dead on the kitchen floor. This poem's about a young man named Casey Goodson. He's coming home from the dentist, went to Subway, picked up a few Subway sandwiches, had them in his hand, had put his keys in the door, and was shot in the back at his front door by Sheriff Deputy Jason Mead for not doing anything except not turning around fast enough, and was not the person that the deputy or the U.S. Marshals were looking for. Sheriff Deputy Jason Mead has been charged with murder. His trial has been delayed again. The trial is 3 years later and will be on January 25th of 2024. So thank you for being here and listening, everybody.
And thank you for that, DG. Y'all can unmute your mics if you'd like to show some support for DG.
Thank you very much. Powerful.
Yes, DG.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You know,
let's
we all
get some justice done.
Thank you, DG.
we all live in different parts of the country, some of us in different parts of the world, right? And so to tell the stories that really stick to you, and to tell that in a poem. Ike, your hand is raised. Was that? I can't hear you though. You're muted.
I don't know why, and I have
All
nothing
right.
here to stop it.
So you're gonna click either the more or the reactions, and then you can click lower hand, and that will lower your hand, sir. I guess I could probably do it for you.
Can you?
There.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'd
It
rather
usually
just.
shows up, right? But I didn't do it. Sorry.
Who knows? Who knows? Technology is just a fickle creature. All right, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. We have Gail Wasserman now, and then Joan, you are on deck. Chanson Byrd, you are in 2. Let me find Gail and okay, there she is again, and spotlight her. All right, let's go.
Ready? Okay. This is the poem in the American Graveyard, Declare a No-Gun Zone. Just like in 1882, yes, it happened then too, in the wild, wild west, innocent folks getting shot to death. Sisters and brothers, we must help one another, one city, one town at a time. Declare a no-gun zone like Wyatt Earp did in Tombstone. To all you out there hell-bent on right to bear arms in the Second Amendment, need to remember the forefathers' intent was to form an army against the British militant. Sisters and brothers, we must help one another, one city, one town at a time, declare a no-gun zone like Wyatt Earp did in Tombstone. Now the redcoats are not going to come, so put down your gun. Sisters and brothers, we must help one another, one city, one town at a time, declare a no-gun zone like Wyatt Earp did in Tombstone. One city, one town at a time, declare a no-gun zone like Wyatt Earp did in Tombstone. Okay, that's that one. I did another one. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but the Impolka Community College shooting. That was I think it was back in 2016. And this one is published in the Benicia Herald in the article Going the Distance. Bang, bang, boom, I'm doomed. He just shot the professor in the head, I'm dead. Oh my God, there's nowhere to run, I'm done. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He's asking students their faith as if he's a member of the human race. She said she's Christian and he shot her in the face. Bang, bam, boom. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I don't want my life to end. Save me, save my friend. We're just young students here to learn. It's not our turn. God, please, please try. We're too young to die. Bang, bang, boom. There's nowhere to run. We're done. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, please. And let's see. I have one more. That's really about the news. Okay. So it's not really about the United States gun problem, but you know, things are related, I guess. Where's my mama? Where's my daddy? My name is Yoni and I'm an IDF soldier. I'm to greet the 4-year-old hostage just released. We're told not to answer questions about parents. I'm glad to have direction about what you can and cannot be said. It's hard though, I know both parents are dead. I saw the father's head and the mother's leg amongst the debris, but I volunteered. The parents were old friends from the university who suffered such unspeakable, horrific ends. Here we go. God, please help me ease his pain. Hello, I'm Yoni, a soldier in the Israeli Defense Forces. I'm with you. I'm going to get you home. You are in a safe place. I'm here to take care of you. You are safe, I promise. Where's my mama? Where's my mama? Where's my mama? Where's my daddy? Where's my daddy? Where's my daddy? Are you cold? Are you hot? Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Can I give you a hand? Can I pick you up? No. Where's my mama? Where's my mama? Where's my mama? Where's my daddy? Where's my daddy? I'm sorry, I don't know. My job is to take you to Israel, a safe place. Can I help you walk? We don't want to be too late. People you know are waiting for you. they'll be able to answer your questions. No, 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 no. Mama, 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 daddy, 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 where are you? Where are you? Why are you hiding?
Oh man, let's go, Gail. Whoo. Y'all unmute your mics and give her some support, please.
Gail. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Wow, Gail, just wow.
Mm-hmm. To do a poem right from the point of view of a child is like us as adults going back into when we were children, and a lot of the insecurities and trauma that we perhaps endured as children is very hard for us to do that as adults. So, to be writing on that and speaking on that and empathetic with the plight of the child, that's a totally brave space to be in, Gail. Thank you.
Indeed, a very powerful poem.
Maria, you look so pretty. Hello.
Oh,
hi.
thank you.
That's
Hi.
her gorgeous piece behind her, by the way, and that's in the art book. She has her piece in the American Graveyard art book. It's lovely.
And I love your purple top.
Thank you. Yeah, my mom gave it to me. It's so pretty and so soft, and I love. My mom's
Lovely.
so sweet.
I've just been inspired and I've been writing away.
Good. I'm glad. And
as I listen
Maria,
to everybody.
And Maria knows about the making videos, and so of course we'll get with you and get inspired to do that. So
let me do mine, and then I can see how I can get it done, and then I'll see how I can replicate it.
That would be awesome. Wonderful. And
Thank
Maria
you.
sits on our committee for our community outreach committee we have here at American Graveyard. So if anyone is interested in helping to do things within your local community or within larger, like the national, international, global communities on gun violence, let me know, and we'd be glad to have you on that committee. We meet a couple times throughout the year and do all kinds of fun stuff. So,
and I apologize. I had totally forgotten about the artwork going. A lot has been going on, so I apologize that I have not been very involved with the committee. And as you mentioned, the museums, I am definitely going to work on that locally.
Okay, cool.
Definitely.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria, so much.
You're welcome.
All right. And Gail, thank you again for that poem. And thank you for fighting the good fight. Like, anyone who's a professional in an industry that I am not, especially one that requires studying the law over a long period of time, they know a lot more than me and probably could do the things that I can't do. So I appreciate you and your fight for that, especially being a woman in the law and serving the law. Thank you so much for choosing this as a place where you're spending your time.
Stressing out. Yeah, I just have to, the lawyers kind of get a bum rap. So, whenever I have a chance and I try to put in a plug for my for my group,
The only bum lawyers I don't like is, sometimes family law. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's true.
Family law, they got to be saints, but otherwise, the majority.
Well, somebody's got to lose. The lose is never going to happen. Either win or lose. There's no in between in the legal world.
As long as kids don't lose, right? That's the whole point. But anyways, thank you for doing what you're doing. And
Sure.
I think maybe the law was like my mom always says that was my calling. I miss my calling, being a lawyer. I would have made a great lawyer because I don't argue. I just declare I'm right. But I'm highly competitive. I probably should have been a lawyer. But anyways, hey, you're here and that's important. And thank you for being here. All right, going down the list, we got Joan Lange up next, and then Chanson Byrd. You are on deck. Doreen Stock, you are in too. So let me find Joan and spotlight her. Hi, and then I'll make sure and go through it and quiet the room since a lot of people wind up unmuting, but then forget to remute. So let me do that. All right, Joan. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
It's all yours.
Well, I'm having a hard time reading today because there's just so much sadness and uncertainty in the world in general. So I'm going to read. I have 3 poems, and as I've mentioned before, I've been in DC and I've seen the lobbyists firsthand, and it's really heartbreaking. I mean, I don't know what world they think they're going to be standing on when they're really creating Armageddon with all of these laws, with Mother Earth and with the guns and all of these things that they're allowing to happen. There won't be an Earth then to stand on. So I'm not sure what they think they are doing, what short-term gain they're having, but it's very upsetting because it's really limitless. And I have a poem going into a book that's coming out in January called Resist, and it's about the greed that causes these things to happen. And I also feel strongly about the mental health system, and I know that we have to take the guns out of their hands. I mean, as I've mentioned before, we used to do standouts every single month against gun violence in Salem, Mass. And people from all over the world come there and they would just say, what is wrong with this country? Why is it happening here? Because it happens in other places and they make it stop right away. But I also feel like the mental health system is really failing people, because not only are they not catching these things and not helping it, they're actually blaming the patient. And worse, they're giving them drugs that cause their minds to cause themselves to hate themselves and hate others. I mean, where there's so many things that even seem benign. You know, I've had a cousin had issues with an asthma medication. There's all kinds of benign thinking things that affecting you, and they just don't care what they do to people for a few pennies. And it's horrifying. But we have to remember that we're all made out of the same fabric. We're all made out of the same stardust. We're all one. I mean, there is no other. It's not happening to anyone else. It's happening to our whole one piece of humanity. And we have to, speak with our feet and get these politicians out who are brandishing guns as their Christmas cards. It's horrifying. I mean, the whole system has to be reset. And really, when words are spoken, they do stay out in the universe and the cosmos forever. They travel and they have power. So I'm so proud of what we're doing here with our words. I have 3 poems, and the first one is from the book. Bang! Here they come again, assaulting with rifles, taunting our right to live, to give our family food, go to school, get medical care, work in peace. No, those from the gun lobby and companies have paid sums to have video games feature their guns. Not just the visual you see, but the added, heightened reality of unrealness with the vibrating sensation. Bam, 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 bam. You've hit someone with your gun. Doesn't it feel good? Knock on wood, it's not your neighbor or your daughter or your dad. When some teen turns bad and grabs a gun from an unlocked cabinet or some store on the street or online and says, look at me, while I stroll anywhere you might be. And you wipe your friend's blood on your face to stay on earth and not get hurt. And I rip your skin and body to shreds. I rat-a-tat-tat with my machine and wipe the floor clean with your tears. I won't ask how you vote. You'll just never go home. And I'll stream it all live on screen until, quite possibly, I die. My mind is made up. And the second poem was inspired actually by our last reading. I came out of it realizing that we're all walking around with shrapnel in our bodies from what has happened, and it really never goes away. Shrapnel. Shrapnel is everywhere. Shrapnel's in my brain. It's not enough that machine guns meant for war have come here for us. There is simply no place we can trust to be safe, to know that there's no way someone can get in here. Guns can come to your door without a warrant. You can be shot by walking down the street to meet a friend. No matter how the day starts, we really have no idea how it will end. And if shots ring out and there's no time to shout or fight back, and lives are literally ripped apart, there's not even the start of it. There is shrapnel in our minds. There is shrapnel in our hearts. There is shrapnel in our souls and cells. There is no way to tell how long it will last, how long it will take us to let go of the holdfast it has on us, the ones left behind, the ones that didn't die, teetering on a tightrope between now and then, and even the ones who have never been in a room that they may never leave. They can't see it, but it's everywhere. In the fact that we are not safe in our homes, in prayer, in hospitals, shops, offices, anywhere. The news may talk, but they don't speak of how we don't even feel safe in our beds. There's no device. There's no life advice that can get it out of our heads to make it go away. It may dissipate, but it is here to stay. Trauma, fear, lack of change, it rearranges our beings. All we can see is uncertainty, but freedom is within each of us. Together, we can begin again and write a new story. Demand that something must be done now. The time is simply up. And then, finally, we shall slowly pull out the pieces of shrapnel, one by one, and start a new day in the sun. And my last poem is from that book I mentioned, Resist, and I'm wearing my t-shirt that says, kindness is cool, because I really feel, and I'm wearing my necklace with all the planets, because we have to remember that we are all one. We're made of the same stardust, and kindness is everything. If we forget anything else, love and kindness is what we have to remember, and let all the rest go, because there's just simply no room for it on earth. This is called My Hope for the Future, a love letter from 2078. Thank you for the flowers and the way you care about me, not only today. The world needs to know that in order for me to love you and grow, they had to take gun violence away. My mother hid her friend, my dad, and shielded him from harm as she lay lifeless on the floor, disguised with blood wiped from another not as lucky on her face and chest. I was born and won the state science fair and promoted solar energy across the globe. Children help while inheriting the earth, and knowing its worth will steward her back to health. My graduate project created 3D machines to print houses inexpensively, so no one need live outdoors, sleep on cardboard, and instead live with dignity. Our wedding gifts were fruitful too. We asked our guests to activate, lift others up, and remove human rights abuse from the world as we stood safely together in our room with plenty to eat. And today, on our anniversary, we ask our family and friends to make sure hunger ends. There is no need in this land of plenty for lack like that. Our children have gone on to feel the same. Instead of getting mired in blame, take action. Stop the hurt. Know every person's worth. We planted seeds that shall feed the universe forever. And that is why today, on our anniversary, I thank you for the flowers you've sown with me along the way, my beloved. There were no guns to take our lives away. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday they'll join us and the world will live as one. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday they'll join us and the world will live as one. Thank you.
Oh man, y'all unmute your mics. Give it up for Joan Lange.
Woo!
Wow.
Woo-hoo. Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, and to finish it up with that song, right? Just so it's profoundly moving, right? Thank you so much for sharing your work, Joan. Coach Josh Smalls is in the room. He just joined us. Coach Josh Smalls and I designed the cover art for American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence. So, you can thank him for doing this incredible lettering. And he also wrote the foreword for American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence. He is a gun violence survivor. He has a bullet in his head. And so certainly we're very lucky that he is with us today. And so I share gratitude for Coach. Mr. Witz, welcome. I'm so glad you were able to join us as well. All right, we're going to keep moving on moving down our list. We are ahead of schedule, which is always fun. Each of the readers, if you're just joining us, everyone has 10 minutes. You don't have to take the full time. If you go over a few minutes, that's okay, because we're so far ahead of time. If you need to know how much more time you have, just let me know. I will keep track of that. We had some big announcements at the very beginning of the show, so I will go ahead and remake those announcements in a little while. Regarding American Graveyard. So Jane SpokenWord, are you ready? She's on the road right now. And so she's going to move up in the list because Rick Lupert is not here. I don't see him. So I'm going to have Jane go ahead and do her thing. Jane is in both books. She is in both the art book and the literary anthology. And just so you know, Jane, we're going to be looking next year at trying to do gallery showings of American Graveyard art book. So I will let folks know. I'm going to just mass send out books and letters to galleries to see if we can get some installations around the country. Would be phenomenal.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Jane. And then after Jane, we have Maria de Rosario Perez, and then we'll do Crip, Lyrical. I don't see Crip here, but I did send him a message, so maybe he'll get here by the time his turn is. If not, that's okay. We'll squeeze him in. I also do not see Sydney Conteh. He's overseas in the UK. I did send him a message as well. So if these folks are not able to make it, or for whatever reason, anyone else who would like to sub in their spot, so like Ja, if you want to sub in someone's spot, you're welcome to do that reading. Otherwise, I don't see the list, kind of finishes up there. So let me scroll back up. So it looks like we have Jane, Maria, Mr. Witz, and then Ed Poetastic would be our next 4. If anyone wants to try to jump in who's not on the list, let me know. Okay, let me go ahead and find Jane and spotlight her real quick.
Marissa, excuse me.
Hi.
Hey.
Yes, Maria.
Excuse me.
Hang on, Jane, one sec.
I want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
introduce a friend of mine, longtime friend, newfound poet, Louis Lopez. And he's here for the first time with Red and Green Books with The Word is Right. And so he's been a writer, a poet for a long, long time, and he wants to get into the groove of things. So what better place to start than, I already introduced him to Tumblewords, and now I introduce him to you all. So
thank you.
Go ahead.
Wonderful to have you. Wonderful to have you. Thank you Louis, for being here. Very excited to have you part of this reading. Chanson, you're right. I was just seeing if you were paying attention, but too bad because Jane's already up. No,
sorry,
I'm just
Chanson.
I'm sorry, Chanson. That's I'm scrolling down this spreadsheet. It's my fault, Chanson. I did not intentionally skip you. I promise. I wrote Jane in so I wouldn't forget her because it was not her necessarily time to read. So we'll do oh, and Doreen too. Snap. I'm sorry. So Doreen, all right. So Jane, do you have a few minutes? Because I did
Marissa, whatever you need, just do it.
Because I did tell them that they were going to be. So we'll go ahead and stay in the order. We'll go Chanson and Doreen, and then we'll bring Jane up. Okay. Trying to accommodate and do all this. It's a little bit fantastical, but that's all right. Thank you all for your grace today. All right, so Chanson, let me find you, sir, and then Doreen, and then we'll do Jane. Where did he go? Now, for those who don't know, Chanson is on his way to break the Guinness Book of World Records for technically Sinrus. So I'm super, super excited for him and seeing his journey over the last couple of years, how it's been evolving. So Chanson, I will go ahead and spotlight you if you're ready, sir. And then after Chanson, we'll have Doreen and then Jane. And then we'll get back to the list.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm closing in on 4,000. So I'm hoping to hit that within the next week or so. I have 3 haiku that I just wrote today, and then I'll read the poem that's in the book. The good died young. Yeah. Abraham, Malcolm, Martin died by just one shot. The good died young. Yeah. Abraham, Malcolm, Martin died by just one shot. I just looked around. Giants have taken their rest in the arms of God. I just looked around. Giants have taken their rest in the arms of God. Bullets spray, blood pours, oceans of life flood the streets, but tears flow for them. Bullets spray, blood pours, oceans of life flood the streets, but tears flow for them. Perpetual blackness. I'm black every day. I can't remove it. I can't scrub it off. I can't dream it away. There are no potions to reduce it. I'm black every day. A criminal by default. The target was placed on my back while I blossomed in my mother's womb and grew when I began to read, think, and become socially conscious. I'm black every day, nervous around white law enforcement because they can become trigger happy in an instant. I even get anxious when people hold up their phones simultaneously because I feel like a fight is on the horizon. I'm black every day. I hope it will be normalized and held as sacred people in the eyes of America. We are a rainbow of unbridled beauty. Everyone wants to be us because magic flows through our veins and they all want to be in the show. I'm black every day. It's a beautiful thing to be, a golden array of soul, the premier people of the earth. All people come from us. No one wants to be a copycat. Everybody likes an original. Thank you.
Let's go, Chanson. Is that it? That all you wanted to read today?
That is it. All
right, y'all. Feel free to unmute your mics. Give some love to Chanson and his incredible journey towards 4,000 haiku Simru. That's an incredible feat, sir.
Yeah,
Chance. That's what's up, bro.
Thanks. I think it's 3 years this month. Yeah, 3 years this month. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell put you up to that, but they're like crazy. That was me, by the way. All right. All right, so we're going to keep moving down the list. Thank you so much, Chanson. Doreen Stock is here, and so I'm super excited for her read. Let me find her. There she is. Hi. Let me go ahead and spotlight you. After Doreen will be Jane SpokenWord.
Can you see and hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marissa, for making this all possible for us in print and the readings. I dedicate this reading to the more than 40,000 people who've died of gun violence this year in America. I'll read 3 poems, 2 of them in the book and 1 of them related, and I'll end with a call to action. American child calling 911. An American child is calling 911 for help from the classroom floor, whispering to 911. How many of her have been wiped out, smearing herself with their blood and playing dead? She is the center of an American maelstrom in an American town, calling, 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 whispering to 911, as if she will, if she continues, continue to whisper, help, 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 forever in her dreams. Uvalde, Texas, May 2022. The second poem, Sunday morning, Uvalde, Texas. No complacencies of the peignoir, no sunny chair or oranges or cockatoo or even Tejano music sung loud by the raucous and happy. No glove thumped by the baseball of their shot dead friend, Alexandria Rubio. Only 3 little girls standing on a baseball field in a place too deep for tears. And the last poem, which I dedicate to Moms Against Gun Violence, of whom I am a confirmed member, At the Cry of a Fawn. Holding your names against the wind and cars crossing the Golden Gate Bridge to San Francisco as the entire Pacific Ocean boils out beneath me. Wearing orange, the color hunters are not supposed to shoot at. Your large, beautiful eyes as they stared out at me from the newsprint, the TV screen before me, as one foot after the other, I honor each moment of terror you suffered behind that locked classroom door, ripped from your lives by being you could never imagine. Now we can imagine him. Before our failure of imagination could never have taken it in. The police standing in the hall as he shot into you. I'm taking one step after another, holding your terror, your suffering, your large, beautiful eyes, as he shot into you with an assault weapon too easily obtained, as the domestic police, ill-led, unprepared for that military-grade armament in the hands of one so mad, hesitated. One foot after another across this span of sorrow, this span where others like him have climbed up, jumped off, plunging their torment into the icy cold, wishing perhaps, step, 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 he had followed them and not plunged his torment into you. Your names at my breast, your wide staring eyes, your sobs, your pleas, the unending shock and ache of those you were taken from, their increasing awareness of what happened, widening, widening unbearably as these waters widen into the sea's horizon and beyond. Last night, I heard the cry of a fawn, a distress call, shrill with panic, over and over into the dark at my open kitchen window. I must do something. Please join Moms Against Violence in body or in spirit as we march across the Golden Gate Bridge, Saturday, June 4th, 10 a.m. Thank you very much for being here today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Y'all
it was
unmute your
heavy.
mics, bring some support.
Please. Very, very emotional. Thank you for sharing that.
So
Thank you.
much,
Thank you for sharing.
so moving and powerful at the same time.
Yes, everybody take a breath.
Yeah, I was nearly in tears. I was just right there. So great work, great writing. Unfortunately, it's horrific, turning events. But wow, the writing was magnificent.
That I could see that digital short film. It completely eviscerating. I mean, what happened in Uvalde was such a catalyst for why we're all here today. So yeah, the line "too deep for tears" is a wonderful prompt idea. So as you hear lines, write them down and go right to it after this. You know, this is meant to replenish you as much as it is to cathartically slough and regenerate and heal. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do. I'll be here for it. I ain't leaving.
Me too.
All right, Jane. It's good to hear your voice. Damn it. I just hear Jane's voice and it's just like the whole world makes sense again. Like I know I'm not alone. So let's go. Hopefully this is an anthem for you all. All right, so I got Jane SpokenWord up next. I do not see Crip Lyrical. Maria del Rosario Perez, you'll be after Jane. I do not see Sydney Conteh. So Mr. Witz, you will be in the hole. Productize that as much as you want, sir. But it's Jane, Maria, and then Mr. Witz. All right, Jane, let me spotlight you.
All right, cool. Okay, well, this is a very important day, and I believe that just putting our vibe out there, all us poets, can change things. So, like Marissa said, there's much more work to be done. I'm here for it. I know y'all are too. And so it's a sad day, but it's a very powerful day for me too. So, and inspired by some earlier poets, I'm going to try to share screen and play a video. I did this video, I put it together, I edited it. Albie and I made the music. It's part of my book, Word Against the Machine, which those of you who know me, I'm a pretty political writer. I'm a pretty fuck you, the government. They're not taking care of business. They're not looking out for us. So I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to play a video and then I will read one piece. You guys got that?
I see it. I don't hear it yet.
Okay, hold on.
Did
I
you-
want to make it larger.
But I can't hear it either.
Hoping I can make it larger here. I don't know if it's going to let me play it. All right. Oh, there you go. I turned on, tuned in, and dropped out. You can call me a freak, but don't call me hippie.
spent the summer of love, drug, and acid. Protested a war that lasted. Released from the confines of society, sisters and brothers stood collectively for equality and dignity. You know. We demanded an end to war. Hell no, won't go. We demanded civil rights and equality. We marched for all humanity. The music of my time spoke truth and power. Grooving to slide, the band was higher. RESPECT demanded Miss Aretha, Queen of Soul. Eve of destruction, rank dark truths untold. Dylan Ward were only a pawn in their game. By any means necessary, Malcolm X proclaimed. I'm black and I'm proud, testified James Brown as Jimmy cried. Why'd you burn your brother's house down? And as Marvin sang, mercy me, when will it end? John Lennon pleaded, give peace a chance. Float like a butterfly, sing like a bee. Rhyme the greatest of all time. My hero, Muhammad Ali. We were a social movement, youth on the rise in a war for equality and respect for all lives. The women's movement defined female objectives. Feminist ideologies demanded equality of sexes. The Latino movement of United Farm Workers Unions improved farmers' pay, working conditions. The Chicano movement of organized students, education, not eradication, brought basic school improvements. The Black Arts movement used art as a weapon. The Black Power movement championed pride and freedom. Angela Davis, Eartha Catwoman, Michelle Uhura, Tommy Smith, John Carlos, Nina Simone, and still idiocracy reigns. If you are other in America, do you do time every day? If you are other in America, is it a sweet play? Living your life on an everyday beat, always on guard, avoiding white heat. Winter has come to America. We have a Trump. Whitey life, stomach, life, feasting on fox, feeding his white. He's scared. Scared you'll take his guns, his God, his whiteness. So he hides his fright, distorted righteousness. Marching with tikis is a frightening aberration. Rivers of blood stain our dawn with damnation. What happens to one happens to us all. Like dominoes, we all will fall. Silence, death. First they came for the Latino, and I did not speak out because I am not Latino. Then they came for the Black folk, and I did not speak out because I am not Black. Then they came for the blue eyes, and I did not speak out because I am brown eyed. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out. Silence is death.
Right. I have one more piece that I can read. And this piece is called Finger on the Trigger. A finger on the trigger. Isn't it a shame that Black folks are safer walking in a pack, avoiding a triggered bullet in the back? Fuck your AK-47, your killing machine, your deadly weapon. Time and time again they prove there is no heavenly golden rule. Spewing God speaks hateful venom on their great white way to a promised heaven. A finger on the trigger. The time has come to stop the gun. No more false narratives spun. What if the dead one was your only one? Gunned down in a rush of blood, face down in a pool of mud, drowning in tears of human floods. A finger on the trigger. A tender voice calls out in the dark. A little boy died alone in the park. Blue man extinguished forever his spark. A child can't be blamed for playing a game. Say his name. Say all the names whose spirit remains. Why do we blame? Who do we blame when political games are played for monetary gain? When the cruelty of ghouls make laws a personal tool, using the gag rule to render us minuscule, shrieking anger to hide their fears, ignoring the river of injustice's tears. Why are humans so full of hate? I beg you, this is not the time to obfuscate. Inequality is a human weight that we all must annihilate. And so we advocate a world of human kindness is the mandate that we, the poets, aim to create. Peace, yo. Keep up the work.
Let's go. Oh my God, Jane SpokenWord, y'all. Unmute your mics and give her some.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
That was unbelievable.
Jane, incredible. The video was incredible, and the second piece too was incredible. Your spoken word piece. Thank you
very much. We are warriors with our words. We can slice and dice the motherfuckers who keep trying to put us down. We will get gun laws passed. We will stop these freaking wars.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it done by hook or by crook. We're in it till the end. Thank you, poets. Thank you,
Hey, Jane, I want to be like you when I grow up.
I love you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are all warriors. We are an army. I'm with you. We're all in it till the end. Hook up with me on IG so I can read the rest of your shit. I mean, I'm sorry. Excuse me, your work. And I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of you all cats tonight. So peace. Thank you, Marissa. What you do is so important. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jean. Love you back. Yes. So if you have not got your copy of the literary book, please do so. American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence. If you have not got the art book, it's only $20 for the art book. It is an incredible thing. If you want to get both of them together, it's 45. No, it's 40 plus shipping and handling. So let me know if you're wanting to order author copies for the holidays. You need to get with me ASAP because my supply is dwindling down for the lit book, so it might be too late if you need a bulk order to get that in, but please just go and support this. All of the proceeds from the sale of this book are going into other things. Like next year, one of our big commitments is award nominations for this book, as well as getting this book online. So it's so important that we do that. Plus, we have the Sponsor a Senator program. Don't forget, if you don't know what to give your friend or your family member for Christmas, $15 will cover the rest of the expense for this book. We'll send it anonymously to a U.S. state senator of your choice. So let's continue to keep this going. We have a lot of things planned for this book as far as the series go. And so all of you are part of the Intrepid Foundation of this movement. And so thank you for being so brave and trusting us to do this project. So one of the big announcements that I made at the top of the show, so those of you who are joining us, if you missed out, one of the things that we did at Red or Green Books last year was we put out an LGBTQ literary art anthology titled Out Loud. And since then, what we did was we created a podcast live show at The Word Is Right. It's once a month. Shaki G, who's in the room, is one of the leaders of that show. And there's hosts, and then there's a panel of guests, and they come on, they share poetry, they share concepts, ideas, discussions about the current events in the LGBTQ community. What I would like to do, because we have so much support for these readings from American Graveyard contributors, is to offer a slot once a month from The Word Is Right for an American Graveyard podcast live show. If you're interested in being a core host, to me, it's just once a month. I'll take care of all the graphics for you and the promotions and the Zoom and all that stuff. But if you're interested in being like a core host for that podcast and having different people or panelists or different poets or artists come on and either you're interviewing or discussing or talking about current events surrounding gun violence, I want to keep this going and I want to keep the discussion alive, and I'd like to do it regularly, like once a month. And so if that's something that's close to your heart, that's calling to you, something that you might want to do, please reach out to me and let me know so that we can roll that out for next year. All right. And so that is that. If you would like to come to New Mexico for September 2024, the New Mexico Poetry Summit, signups are going on. It is September 13th, 14th, and 15th. And if you think to yourself, well, September is a long way away. We were submitting for this book to go to print about this time that long ago, so a lot is gonna happen, but it's gonna be here quick. So if you would like to come for that, the tickets are on sale. If you'd like to come and be a feature, reach out to me and let me know. The website has all of the current people who are coming. It's a phenomenal thing. We have a documentary film crew also going to be filming to cut a film for Netflix. So we're hoping that through the summit that weekend, the pilot that we create will be something that Netflix picks up. So let's just keep our fingers and toes and all of our pens crossed on that. All right, let's keep going. The list, I have Maria de Rosario Perez, Mr. Witz, Ed Poetastic, June Powers, Henry L. Jones. I do not see Cynical Insomniac. So we'll have Rick Spisak, and then our very own Coach Shaw Smalls is going to round us out and close us out tonight. As long as he's good with that. He said he will do anywhere I need him, and I figure what a great way to end the show than by the poet who wrote the foreword for this book. Would be dope. All right, Maria, let me go ahead and spotlight you, and we'll keep running the list. Hi.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. And all of this is a work in progress. We keep coming up with more work. I keep changing the photograph that I created of Our Lady of the Innocents. Yes? Oh, I thought somebody said something. Okay. So I'm going to read two poems from the two poems that are in the book. And then I'm going to read one that I just created, inspired by you all. Why the wailing women? Ay, mis hijos, my babies, my children, comfort, heal, advocate. No preguntes por qué. La Llorona will never forget. Consuela, sana, aboga. ¿Comprendes que no importa cómo los perdió? They were formed in her womb. Brotaron de su vientre. Lloraron. Su confort fue interrumpido. They cried. Their life was ending. When will the killing end? Cuando termina la matanza? And the wailing doesn't stop. Muere uno más de la mano del otro. 2 more die at the hand of the other. And their children die again and again and again. Y de nuevo vuelven a morir. And they are ripped from her heart. De sus entrañas los arrebatan. Cuando termina la matanza? And the wailing doesn't stop. That's the first one. Thank you. And I'm getting over a cold. I see some other people have been also a little sicky. So I guess I have an appropriate poet voice today. She cries out, La Llorona, where is God? The Aztec goddess Cihualcoatl llora por sus niños. Who mistreated her niños? ¿Quién les sembró odio en sus corazoncitos? Who sowed the seeds of hate? Who taught them to despise? When, cuando, their innocence, la inocencia se les robó. Their childhood is stolen. They live in fear. Tengo miedo, mamá. And she caresses her child's damp hair. Mommy, I'm scared, dice la niña, cubierto su rostro, su cabeza de sangre. Mommy, I'm cold, so thirsty, llora la niña. Las lágrimas de la madre caen sobre la sangre, convirtiéndola en sanguasa. But nothing thins out el dolor de la madre. Pero nadie los escucha. No one to hold them. A lifeless little body, un cuerpecito sin vida, sin abrazo de su madre. Quetzalcoatl, God of life, God of light, God of fertility, of civilization, of wisdom. Where have you fled to? In what place have we hid you? Where have we abandoned you? And now I'm going to read one. Let me see. And I have, okay. Let me see if this is gonna work. On August 3rd, 2019, a misguided young man committed a mass shooting in Marty Robbins, El Paso. Marty loved his brown-skinned Felina as she danced and twirled at Rosa's Cantina. The young man hated, abhorred Marty's brown-skinned fellow men, fellow humans. I was 2 miles away from that deadly trigger site. 2 of my siblings left the site 10 minutes before those deadly bullets began. My cousin's daughter ran to the shooting site to check on the staff she supervised. They had locked themselves in a freezer. A friend of mine hid in the store. Well, when the shooting began, she was there shopping for school supplies, like many other hopeful parents with excited children. 22 innocent humans were injured in the shooting, intended to eradicate brown-skinned and migrant folks. Did he not know that his ancestors were migrants as well? 23 individuals of various colors, ages, and cultures were targeted. were killed by those hate-filled bullets out in Marty's West Texas town of El Paso.
Oh my goodness, Maria de Rosario Perez. Oh my God. And I drive by that Walmart when I'm in El Paso. It's a constant reminder.
Everybody does, yeah. And they made a beautiful memorial. They made one there in the parking lot, but they also made one at our local Ascarity Park that has a lake and in the entrance. And every year they seem to add more to it and create more homage. But, you know, it
yeah, it never goes away. My best friend is from El Paso. Her mother was from Mexico. And so, you know, it's so close to home. And everyone thinks it's not going to happen to them. And I guarantee you, everybody is going to be affected by gun violence. It's just a matter of time. And so what we're doing, it's my hope is, you know, we're moving towards peace, towards something that's bigger than us, longer than we're going to be alive, and greater than what we will witness in our lifetimes. So that's all we can do. Y'all unmute your mics for Maria, please, and her beautiful poems.
Woo! Muy bien. Woo!
Thank you.
Maria.
Gracias.
Beautiful.
Fabulous, fabulous.
So moving. Beautiful.
Gracias.
Very moving.
Very beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Poetastic, we're going to have to call you Bueno-tastic.
Muy bien. Woo!
Fantastic. There you go.
You know, this is still gut-wrenching for me. You know, to be applauded. You know, it's to me, this is an act of advocacy. Yes. As a retired social worker and a Catholic Christian. This is, to me, my obligation as social justice. You know, under the umbrella of social justice, under the umbrella of advocacy, advocating for social change, for systems change. And, you know, we have to stop being blind to the fact that there's a lot of corrupt politicians, and that one of the poems said it beautifully about, you know, it's not financially profitable to do something about gun violence, to do what really needs to be done. You know, we'll be cutting some of the income into some people's big pockets.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, and we see the horror that's going on in the Middle East right now. So thank you. Thank you.
And, you know, in New Mexico, and like, you know, we're border states, we're border towns, if you will. And so it, you know, things are just kind of sometimes different here than they are in other parts of the country. Not to say less or more or different gun violence, just different things we tend to focus on in the Southwest. And we had a great deal of children in Albuquerque die this year from gun violence. We had a little girl, 5 years old, shot. A bullet came through the front of the house, and she was doing a sleepover in the front of the house and died. We had a young boy outside of the Isotopes Park shot and killed. Last week, it was someone, a 14-year-old discharging a gun at the mall. Like, it is this constant, right? This continual loss of life, of innocent life here. And when the governor put in she did a 30-day ban on open carry weapons, including assault style weapons. just a 30-day ban because these children just kept dying, and the police, there's no way to catch up with it. And there was such a huge uproar and protest to it, and all the posts were here during the summit that weekend. And then this past week, to hear Albuquerque police say in their live press release that they did, the live interview, the chief of police said there's nowhere is it okay or acceptable to open carry a gun. But none of them went to enforce the law. And so, right, there's a lot of disconnect. There has to be some change. We have to keep doing what we're doing, right? Because I feel that I never get a straight answer here. I hear one thing and see another. And that's a lot of the politics, especially the Southwest. But Maria, thank you for constantly speaking out about that. We're not done with this. We're going to keep rolling with this, the concept and the philosophy of this anthology series, and standing up for what we continue to believe is leading us to peace. All right, we got Mr. Witz up next, Ed Poetastic, June Powers, Henry L. Jones, Rick Spisak is in the house, and then Coach Josh Smalls will end us today. So don't go anywhere. There's a huge amount of incredible poets coming up next. Let me see where Mr. Witz is.
I'm here,
Mr.
Queen.
Witz. Hi, there you are. Hi, let me spotlight you for everyone. Oh my God, I hear this man's voice. And I'm like, yes, the world makes sense again. I don't know how to explain it, but every Wednesday, Mr. Witz has a show. You got to go to it every Wednesday night, and do more of this work. But every week he's doing this work. All right.
Can y'all hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, great. Peace and blessings to everybody in the room. And thank you all for being the voice for those who have none or couldn't find this. I'm going to do 3 pieces. That's okay. First piece is entitled Shepherd Over the Bullet. An idiom claims that man's best friend is undoubtedly the German Shepherd or some other canine, a bark big enough to compensate for its bites, preferring a pet over human interaction, one whose obedience could be housed in their language, an animal that can be in domesticated capacity and the ability to safeguard an occupied space. Also favorable for adaptable training, hunt and attack being their most natural states, though in many circumstances, they can be a companion. Those roles more often go for the smaller breed of dogs. They say best friend, as if this someone is it. The first one men want to come home, greet, and play with. Maybe that's what made it okay to make reference to their partnering female as a bitch. Till whistling became a communication a white woman ended in a lie against Emmett. They say best friend, as if a dog on the hip only advocates for the canine. I guess in how men love the scent of gunpowder breaking wind like a woman's perfume. Somewhere in the smoke of bombs burst in the air, they've overlooked the compassion for fanning ivories, trading in the wolf of a mutt for the bigger bark of a gun, the caress of a trigger, the pin down of the finger, the defensive kickback designed to feel like you just had to do it. Every time they take a life, you feel the fight to survive met in the coil. Do you contemplate the will to feel that power, or do you give it to one you had trained to sprint, to jump, bite, target, tear flesh, drag back out with those yourself couldn't fetch, bang over barks, squeeze over release, decisions of instant reaction at your fingertips, left hand opening, right hand clenching, maximum pressure at case capacity of a 9. I've read is something like 35,000 PSI. A German Shepherd has the bite force of 238 to 291. And when they choose the dog, I bet they brush their teeth like they're polishing brand new bullets. And he'd snap his jaw like a fully loaded clip, smacked in the bottom of a 9mm, as if he was saying he was ready to kill something. The average human body holds 1.2 to 1.5 gallons of blood. Which do you think would empty it out quicker? Which do you think would make the bigger mess? I've learned from watching pre-recorded film of our homicides by law since black and white TV, that they'd find joy in watching our bleed out either way. Slaying, a training to shift the weight to the shepherd over the buck.
Awesome. I love your use of words. Totally a word sculptor you are.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I wish I didn't have to write these pieces.
Well, if you were writing pieces on a lighter note, on a loving note, I bet you'd still be a sculptor.
T-shirts, Mr. Witz, say word sculptor.
Thank you. This piece is entitled, "The Ghetto Can Be So Quiet." The ghetto can be so quiet some nights, drowned out in sirens, setting fire to the brick of the buildings with their light, suffocating the rights they violate inside of those there to witness. Screaming voices seem to find their barriers in the holding back of mourning mothers. The white sheet laid over the deceased body feels just like a Klansman's claim. Lines have been crossed, drawn this way before. The officer still streaming smoke out of the pistol, barely raised an eyebrow, remorseless in standing, as the cavalry walled off the crowd's disapproval. But the news willed silence, along with the radio, to a no legend beyond a neighborhood leak. Asphalt claiming the bodily fluid. Not every name makes the face of the papers. The press, we know, is our cheeks boned to the ground. Most of the justifiable homicides filed, every bite of the bullet, identified by our teeth and fingerprints. Yet the trigger will get the blame. The guilty charges found in the arraignment, this time the arrangement of weapons, the slip in an instant that can make a hand mistake a loaded gun for a fully charged taser. They said weight never actually played a factor. Fact is, your shield never tilted a blindfolded scale. Show us the way. You handle your authority, priority over reason to kill. I guess when it comes to Black lives, you black out. Your targets always have been a Black image to cast out. a shadow of what it means to be a civilian. The tracks of your shoes are a bathroom of duty. The integrity of being a force. The police, a department overseeing to the capture and keep of the average human being. Writ in your Miranda, your authorization of rights upon approach. While standing over and looking down a barrel, tunneling your guilty vision. Can't be my back exposed in view of my running away that threatens your safety. Bulls in your eyes, reminding you of hunting, calling for your pellets to charge down range. Escape is not an option, nor is surviving. We are responsible for our actions, but apparently you are not. What is the procedure for taking a life when you have a back running away from you? The training will be yours to own. The sorrow will be ours. Black and gunned down, killed on a birthday. And what's left to celebrate is now a dedication of tomorrow's promise boxed inside a memorial, dressed in flowers, pretty enough to present as a gift to God. And still no answer, no justice, just a moment of silence. The ghetto can be so quiet some nights.
Oh man, y'all. Oh my gosh, Mr. Witz. Feel free to unmute and share some love and support to Mr. Witz.
Ooh.
Almost musical, man. I could see that as a song. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's very powerful.
Very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Brethren, I don't even know what to say about that piece, man. That was like a whole damn, I felt like I just watched the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, that could even be like a ballet, like a dance, you know, played out.
Yeah, definitely. These are all
I can hear
short.
Curtis Mayfield. I hear so many lingerings of Curtis Mayfield playing that, man. Powerful. Yeah.
I love
Thank
you
you so
all. I
much.
truly appreciate your intake and your call and response for this here. It truly hurts. It makes me emotional every time I have to write and recite something of this nature.
Yes.
You know, so I know it's not easy for you all, no more than it is for myself. So I appreciate the embrace. If I can, I'd like to share one more piece.
Okay, sure.
This piece is entitled "It's Not a Game." It's hunting season. They are hunting us again. Target still black like the one in the back, taking chest shots at the range. Headshots for those with good enough aim. Bullseye for the marksman with hand-to-eye coordination. These video games ain't real enough for white boys. VR hasn't taken enough lives in virtual. Reality hadn't knocked enough children down yet. Violent hasn't claimed enough bodies overall. The ex-president made what he referred to as a call to duty. Good old boys of the patch. Boss Hall badges them well, warrants them to purge a fortnight ago. You would think it was a bank robbery, a grand theft auto, the way he showed up with camera mounted on his head, his halo, must have been under his feet like an icon, confidence nerving his last look in the mirror. A reassurance before the door swung open of his barely stopped vehicle, yet enough to step out on a planted foot. Only the shock of this living action figure can pause one from not running for their life, shooting on sight from his assault rifle. The dark skin of those people didn't stand a chance. A breath, a blink, a second of time to pale in fright of his hair trigger. A pardoning apology to the Caucasian store clerk curled up on the floor as he made his exit, proved his sight was designated on stealing a life from none other than melanated people. Race war minded his drive out today. Thoughts of black gassed his vehicular engine. Churches ain't safe to pray no more. Hell, it ain't safe to go to the grocery store. I guess your miseducation has exceeded the Negro. Turned your privilege and dog leashes into social knuckleheads. Nuances of your name. Menace to society. Hoodlums, thugs, the muck you live to call us. Call them by their name. Assassins, mass murderers, executors of your Red Dead redemption. Problemed white boys, dedicated to their trigger, aged to deliver the fatal shot. All this can't be just cause a way out made him god of war over innocent people. These use of your strategy to fight your enemy, ideologies found inside of your energy can't be the answer to anything you possibly want. Don't be afraid of our growing opportunity. Our youth, our elders deserve their chance. Before you get dressed to show off your gears of war, update your gaming profile to your white sheet so we can recognize you upon your approach, or at least know what game you're playing.
Damn! Let's go, Mr. Witz! It's hard for me not to get excited about this man because he just, yeah, he's just such a fucking inspiration.
Thank you, Prada. I appreciate you.
I've been missing you, by the way, just so you know.
I've been missing you all as well. You know I have. I try to listen in as much as I can, but duty calls, you know, I'll be on the plantation more than I would like to be, but the bills don't stop and the children don't stop eating and they don't stop growing and they don't stop learning. And we have to protect our babies the best way we can. So
your kids are growing up so beautifully. Like, I wish we all lived closer. Oh my God, right? I wish we all lived closer because we all have kids around the same age and it would be just so dope. I remember taking PoetCon to the Grand Canyon and my kids and her kids, and we just went on this road trip to the Grand Canyon, went and saw Kemlin down in Phoenix. Like, I took her to the saguaro cactus forest so she got to see like a real cactus. Like, it was so,
awesome.
You know what I mean? I wish like we all lived closer. We would have like, oh.
Makes my heart smile, you know. We have nothing more than love. You know what I'm saying? We have nothing more than love. And if we don't find our way to love, then we're going to be our own demise. So the love is the only way back to God. So yeah, thank you all for this space. It means a lot. Prada, I appreciate you staging the platform for us to express these views. And you all are great. Know that you're doing God's work. And I'll leave you with this. Keep shining your light for the universe to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Witz. Feel free, y'all, to unmute and give Mr. Witz some love and some support for those poems.
Woo!
Po-
Want to hear more from you. Want to hear more.
Bientastic, Eddie Bientastic. Give you a nice, we'll give you a nice Spanish name, Bientastic. All right. Let's go. Yes, it is possible to go to the dark places and to read the dark poems and still come together with love and light as a community. So don't ever feel ashamed to cheer on each other, and don't feel like you don't deserve the flowers when they come to you after reading the heavy things that we're talking about today. All right, Ed Poetastic, you're up next. Crip Lyrical's in the building. So Crip Lyrical, I got you after Ed. Then we got June, Henry, Rick, and Ja to close us out. Let me find, there he is. Poetastic is a mainstay, staple host here at The Word Is Right. So we're super excited to have him. Let me go ahead and spotlight you, sir. Hold on. You keep moving your, okay.
Call me sir,
There we
I'll
go.
call you sister.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your love, words, and time. Now, here's my end gun violence rhyme. This is called Grieving Gun. A bull of a name, a foggy mind, comes since tossed in flames, innocent corpses left behind. A pool of crimson, a flood of emotions, a frigid hungry gun, names tossed in the ocean. A crying monster, a trail of blood, remorse from a butcher, stings for a billion suns, empty flaming hearts, a river of tears, guilt shooting darts, the silence are here, a collage of faces, time stands still, dark empty spaces, the inhumane chills, screams of justice, sound of deaf ears, ignorance is bliss, sadness draws near. Memories in twilight, words left unsaid, darkness in hindsight, regrets left dead. Tears in the streets, low with angels, bodies covered in concrete, feet full of anvils. Life taken away, coffins become full, days of decay, one bloodthirsty fool. Freedoms on display, ceremonies in black, mean emotional heart attacks, crying hearts crack. Clouds of gray, downpour of rain, echoes of disarray, collars of pain. Flowers on altars, many grieving families, legends of slaughter, many deep sympathies. Thank you.
Oh, Poetastic. Do you want to do another one? Is there anything else you would like to do?
Sure. I got another one. This other one is called The Bullets of War. I have a bullet of your name. My heart yearns for your demise. You're to blame for my flame. I'm gonna kill you down to size. Why the mercy hates you is because you're my enemy. It's foggy hate, no clear views. My dark rays have no sympathy. I slowly reloaded my steel gun, my fingers covering angry bees, my shadow covered the sun. Run, run, run away, please. There goes one of your eyes. You loudly blare why. You fall, but your blood rise. You kept going, however with a sigh. There goes one of your arms. You're my prey, but please go far away. You're disarmed, but I still mean you harm. What can I say that went underway? There goes one of your legs. The pain must be unbearable. It's on my cracked eggs. What is next is unconceivable. There goes your head. I forgot what you said. All right. I hope you eat lead. The cold ground's your bed. Roses ooze and spread. There goes one of your hands. You're just a man. I feel you, but I try not to understand. Now your name is buried in dirt and sand. Image of a crying phantom. My body icy as steel. You can't find inner sanctum. There are no peaceful ordeals without rest or heal. I hear cries in my head. I wish it was me instead of you. I literally dread the future up ahead. What can I do or hope to do? There are no winners in wars. More losses and no gains. There are no restorations or scores. Please, no more pain or lifeless remains. Do I really need to explain? Thank you.
Oh, let's go, y'all. Give it up for Ed Poetastic. Bientastic.
Let's go. Being so bombastic. So enthusiastic.
Great job, Ed.
What a light you are in this community. Thank you so much. Crip Lyrical has the most dope book out. And he has this awesome, you get all these kinds of awesome bells and whistles when you buy his books. You just have to go get his book. It's super exciting. It's one of the most thoughtful and well-organized book rollout packages I've ever received. So congratulations on your book, Crip.
Thank you.
Very excited for you for that. And I'm super excited you're part of American Graveyard. So thank you for being part of the rollout here. So after Crip, we have June. Henry left. He got an active tornado on the ground warning for his surrounding area. So let's send him some angels and some prayers and hope everything is going to be okay where he is at. Because this is, the earth is changing, and that means storms are going to become more dangerous, and many poets are in the path of that. So Henry, we send you prayers. Crip, June, Rick, Jaw. That's how we're going to end this. All right. Let me spotlight Crip Lyrical. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, Marissa. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to join you in this space. Yeah, if you're interested in my book, feel free to follow me at Crip Lyrical and on the socials, and I can get you one of those beautiful package books. I'm going to read the one piece that I have in American Graveyard, titled Blanket, One Nation Under Gun. I pledge allegiance. This routinely recited phrase is repeatedly rehearsed by school children each and every morning. Hands draped innocently over heart, proclaiming loyalty to country, indivisible, liberty, justice, one nation under God. While loyalty is pledged by our future, our present sits back, lights a cigarette, and pulls the trigger. One nation under gun, because thoughts and prayers have become the tattered blanket used to hide the nightmares. Because wealth has replaced worth, because power has replaced peace. One nation under gun, because bullets are the currency of choice, because bullets are the constituent of a voice, because bullets are the God that is worshipped, rejoiced. One nation under gun, because pledging allegiance to stars and stripes is coveted over pledging allegiance to Black and brown lives, because liberty and justice is a dream deferred by the pull of a trigger, because indivisible doesn't apply to the mom who will never hold their child's hand again, the same hand that was innocently draped over her heart that morning, proclaiming loyalty to our country that will never return loyalty. One nation under gun, tears disguised as shiny stars on a fabric of pain. One nation under gun, blood of our descendants disguised as stripes on a flag's remains. One nation under gun, tattered blankets disguised as comfort until the next child is slain. That's that poem. Thank you, everyone, again for allowing me to be here and for reading that poem. I wrote that poem right after the Uvalde shooting and had no idea what was going to become of it. So I only read this poem when it comes to American Graveyard, and it has a special place in my heart. So I appreciate you guys allowing a home for it. So thank you again.
Crip Lyrical in the building.
What's up?
What's up, bro? I miss you, man.
I miss you guys too. It's been a year.
It's definitely been too long.
It's been a hectic year, yeah.
It's a hectic year, but it's been a year of great bounty as well.
Yes,
A lot of opportunities this year to sprout everything that we're going to reap next year, right?
Yes,
We're gonna
definitely.
lots of blessings coming down the pipes. I know it. So thank you so much, Crip. It's good to see you. It's good to hear you.
You too.
So dang close. You should come for the summit in September if you're not doing anything.
September. I had to look into that.
Yeah, September 13th to the 15th is the New
Okay.
Mexico Poetry Summit next year. And so it's going to be an amazing time. You can already see the lineup of who is going to be here, who's scheduled to be here, and people who would like to feature can still get in the program. So it's a lot of fun. All right. Next up is June Powers. I had the opportunity to like hug this woman in person at the New York City Poetry Festival, and meet her in person. And I'm so excited that she chose to submit to this anthology, and she's just a wonderful human being. And then Henry had to go. He has an active hurricane warning in his area for a hurricane on an active tornado warning on the ground for his neighborhood. So I'm sure he went and sought some shelter. So we will have June and Rick and Ja close us out. Let me spotlight you, June, and go ahead.
Hey, hello everyone. I am so honored to be here with you, and thank you so much, Marissa. And I still think about that hug. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you for this event, for your energy and your incredible poem that started us off. I'm going to read the poem that's in the book, Lightning, and then I have another poem that speaks to what often ends up being the consequences of gun violence. It's about prison. Is that okay to read?
Absolutely. Whatever you would like to bring today is fine.
Okay. All right. First, I'll start with lightning. I saw it all. The lightning snapped its fingers. The tree cracked in half, trying to dance in response. The boy screamed at being home alone again. The neighbors ran, crowded outside to see the crack and wonder. I saw it all and started to think about the neighbors and the misconceptions of death, and whether I'd missed something in the hearing, and whether I'd missed them or not, if it came to that. I am not afraid of death, but I worry for my neighbors. I worry because of the consumption of raw ideas and TV, whatnots they consume. They are consumed with the ideas of possible death. I worry consistently. I'm afraid of my own worry and general consumption of these ideas by others, uncooked, unprocessed, mixed with TV whatnots and hearsays. I worry consistently. The worry eats me. The worry for my neighbors hunts me. And I wonder how it is to consistently discuss the leaving the street too early, leaving the life too early at the hands of a gruesome deed, like a freak lightning, crack, crack, or a child just playing like he saw on TV, pow, pow, commercials just playing like he saw on TV, and the lightning and the whole scene, everybody running to see, everybody driving new hatchbacks, silver, to deliver the silver business and the roses sweet, deliver the business and the roses on the way to their 5th, 6th, 7th car, when he dreamed of a real bed and a refrigerator, what keeps the light on so you can see if it's a mouse that ran over your foot or something else. And the lightning, crack, crack, spurred him on, pow, pow. And now that everybody's screaming, the whole crime scene, the atmosphere of excitement, he thought, pow, pow, after sugar cereal for dinner again. Oh my God. Oh my God, the lightning, that lightning, crack, crack, and now everybody's screaming. The whole crying scene, the atmosphere was pow, pow. The lightning snapped its long, brittle fingers at the sound of the bullet, keeping up, keeping time, and the bullet rested in the wall of a neighbor. This evening, pow, pow, everybody's so upset this time, dealing with unwanted forces and lightning, and a new temporary home. for the boy. Oh my God. Oh my God. The neighbors, the fear, the bullet people, the fear rose in them and the lightning snapped above them. Crack, crack, repeatedly as the discussions of death and illuminated bullets prevailed this night outside at the neighbors. I saw it all. I saw it all. The second poem is called Prison In, Prison Out. He remembered the showers in, especially the first, the initial shock of being scoured like a pan into supposed submission, in forced water, in individual beads of force pelleting his skin, stinging his skin, wondering what happened to the soap, travel size, and the refreshment. He remembered the current, in the underlying flow of highly excitable energy, highly volatile, Molotov cocktail volatile, highly riotous, Molotov cocktail riotous. In any moment, something could break. The current only felt. Under the vibe was kept. Under the cell, checks. Under the exercise and the meals. Under the labor, the appeals, the deals, more vicious than anything on the street. He remembered the lights. In 24-hour sunshine. In rehabilitating sunshine, sleep deprivation sunshine, sister to the sounds. In cozy with the 24-hour sounds. In rehabilitation sounds, tick tocks, keys and locks, tappers, rappers, latches and scratches, yells, bells, moans, and tones unable to be arranged into anything melodic as yet, due to the constantly present underlying current and the shower of submission. He remembered the toothbrush. In travel size quality. In falling apart in your mouth, plastic bristles almost swallowed, it kept happening. Plastic bristles almost swallowed, it kept happening. To the current, the highly volatile current, due to the current, which at any moment could become riotous. He remembered the death. In the stench of discovery. In early rigor, resting in the bed, the next bed over. The other's medicine was late. In fact, the cellmate's insulin did not arrive on time, causing a braided fate for him, and the inexperienced guards twisted, complicating the already volatile situation, which at any moment could simply explode. He remembered the packages. In his mom sent packages, books, toiletries, and money went missing. Inside, redistributed inside quickly. He knew about it and could only hope for mercy. He knew to stay on his side of the room, out of the path of the redistributors. He knew to stay on his side of the story, his side of himself. He knew no one was on his side except mom, sometimes out. He remembered release, out. That day, his old clothes back, out. He could speak again about trees, again overflowing rivers, lottery tickets, and light, real light, out, without humiliation or supposed submission. His girl maybe waited, out, to hold his hand again and compare shadows in the evening sun. He still remembered the current, out, years, out, the stench of humiliation still underlying the current, flowing next to the sounds of imminent death. Years, out, he still remembers, out. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Let's go, June. Oh, the stench of humiliation. Like,
Yeah.
this woman, she crafts words. Yeah. I just.
That delivery was magnificent.
Thank
Yeah, right, John, right?
I could listen to that all day.
All day you can listen to her, right? Ike, you have your hand going. Were you just saying hi, or did you want to say something?
No, I'm good. I was just saying thank you.
I'm just congratulating.
Oh.
Okay, good. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone
No,
who's Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
June, your message was definitely captivating. It kept us at the edge of our seat, waiting to hear, the next few lines that came after.
Thank
Again, it's not easy to deliver these messages, and it hurts that we even have to. So
this.
I appreciate you for being an advocate.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much.
And I got to hug her, Mr. Witz. She's a real person, I guarantee you.
Oh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Well, I'm giving her a virtual hug now. So tongue out to you.
You. Such a special moment. Thank you.
And shout out to Diane Ward for introducing us. Diane has been an integral force in our poetry community to connect all of us and continue to push people and places and things that she believes in. So big shout out to Diane Ward. All right, let's keep going. So Henry L. Jones had to leave because he had an active tornado warning. So let's just hope and pray everything turns out okay for them. But I did tell him to go seek shelter and follow the advisories. So don't feel like he needs to linger in the Zoom room. The shit's falling apart. But you don't want you do not brave a tornado on the sake for this Zoom, please. let's not do that. Let's do that next time. All right, so two of my absolute favorite human beings are going to close us out tonight. We have Rick Spisak in the house, so I'm super honored to have Rick here. His book release party will be tomorrow. So if anyone is feeling like they have some time that they would like to give to Rick and come and listen to his work, I promise you it is not going to be boring. Anyone who knows Rick knows that his stuff is like off the chain, and it is so like Send the Rich into Space is like one of my absolute fucking favorite poems. I love it. Let's go all day. And then after Rick, we will have Coach Jaw Smalls will close us out. And of course, Jaw wrote the foreword. So what a great way to end the show today. Rick, let me spotlight you. And I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for being here. And I'm honored to have published you in your incredible book, Stone Poetry. And so have the floor, my dear friend.
Thank you so much. I hope that some of you will come and listen tomorrow. We're going to do, I think, just an hour. I'm going to invite some friends to come and read some of my work. I try to bring a little humor and yet some science to what we do. I'm going to read one that's so fresh. I wrote it tonight. Really a tribute to you fine poets who bring your heart's blood to us. That one thing you can say about poets is they don't lie. They bring you their heart's truth, and that is too goddamn rare in this world. So here we go. This first one I call Son of Man, written tonight for you. Son of Man. The son of a man who never went out without a gun, and he ended his pain with a bullet to the brain. I, his son, still own no gun, not even one. The close friend of a man who out in my yard got robbed and shot. But I own no gun, not even one. While traveling out west, I was invited in to share a lunch, and when the cops dropped by, they drew their guns. But I own no gun, not even one. And when invited by the army to kill and murder, yet I took no gun, not even one. Thank you. And my contribution to the fine, fine work that our dear Marissa encouraged us and made it possible to do. My piece in the American Graveyard is called Today's Multiple Shooting. We aim to score higher, so there'll be no denier. Schools, malls, hospital zones, no longer are we content to leave it at home. I've got more shells than a peanut grower. This hyper-toxic meteoric media shocking high-tech people mower stalking walking. So on the way to make my score, I got pulled over. The friendly cop asked me if I had headed out for some fun. He saw the 45 pistols. He saw the automatic rifles and 45s. He knew what must be done. We're number one with a bullet. My little pullet. When I opened the door, a 50 cal dropped to the floor. It kicked on and cut a bus in half. My new cop buddy and I had a hearty laugh. It's gotten so competitive, like a bunch of jumping adjectives, 10 or 20. That's like I hardly even didn't have any. 40 or 50. Now, shoot, let's not be thrifty. 60 or 70. You'd think that'd be plenty, but 90 or 100. Now, that number sure ain't irrelevant. I'm going out in a blaze of glory. Sure, I'm the son of a bitch, but that's my story. And what's in it for me beyond the beautiful glory? Oh, say, can you see? I ain't no senator, son, but with the talented bullets, I can pull it out and still be number one. The coppers was all waiting outside. They all feared if they entered, they might find that long, dark ride. They'd later confide to all the way to confuse. Wasn't they really recently trained so well in SWAT? I guess, my brother, they just must have forgot. He was stunning, they said, dressed all in black from his head to his hair. And when he drew his laser bead and began his attack, you can hear him screaming. You can hear the flak, almost obscene. He also had his control a whole fleet of drones, which he trained in his home. For just this minute, he wanted to win it. And when he launched the battle, he had him flying. That's the tie-in. He held him at bay with a fleet of robot dogs. He got him online so nobody saw. He'd prearranged an email blast sent to the local news so they could carry it live, carry it fast. He prearranged an email. Okay, right. His exoskeleton armor kept him warm and safe, so even under a hail of fire, he could still make good his escape. With a Groupon coupon savings, he recorded his glory, gory savings and ravings. Yes, he had an AR, and yes, he had grenades. In fact, he trained with the local cops at the community arcade. He brought him on time. And what's sublime, he didn't have any, just a couple to send. Greatly, he sent engraved invitation to the local police station. Well, they scoffed and laughed, and nobody even asked him, was it really true or on task? They'd catch him on the rebound, or perhaps leave him time to leave town. With all his robot dogs and his lethal drones, they decided and let her confide it. It was only fair to let him reload, and then he could, take the show on the road. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, all you beautiful truth-speaking poets. Thank you all.
It's like he was playing a symphony. It was just like the perfect symphony. Right? It's the orchestra going. I loved it. I loved it.
I'm so glad to hear you, Rick. And I just have to say, bald is beautiful. So yes, you don't have to keep it, but please just know bald is beautiful in the most respectful way. Right?
Let me tell you, you don't want to deal with my hair cutter. That's one group
No.
I hope nobody gets to see.
But please, much love to you and your family, and sending you all kinds of healing love and energy, my friend, to continue on this journey. I'm blessed and humbled that you're here. All right, y'all feel free to unmute your mics for Rick and give him some love.
Yeah, Rick, that was amazing,
Awesome.
man. Your word choice and your rhythm was brilliant.
Awesome.
It was a joy to listen to, brother. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, my friends. And thank you for the truth you brought.
Great work, Rick. Really good.
Marissa.
All right. No,
Marissa.
I'm here. I'm just. Yes, ma'am.
I'm wondering if my friend Louis can share his impressions with us.
Sure, Louis, you're being put on the spot. If Louis, if he chooses to, he may contribute, but certainly he may also say no. That's okay.
I don't think he's gonna say no.
Yeah, no, actually, I was taking it all in, and I'm really pretty floored by just the incredible words that are coming out of all these poets' mouth. It's really pretty breathtaking. I'm taking it all in, and I haven't really totally grasped it yet. But as I think about what y'all have said, it really inspires me to come back and I'd like to share some stuff with you. But thank you for just the inspiration.
Thank you, Louis, for being here and for being a supporter. And thank you, Maria, for bringing him. You can, if you would like, you can go to our YouTube page. This is the fourth, I believe it's the fourth reading for American Graveyard that we've done. Hopefully this will become a monthly podcast live show so we can continue the conversation on a monthly basis with rotating guests and whatnot. But feel free, Louis, to go to our YouTube page, our Facebook page. You can see all kinds of the things that we've been doing over the years. And yeah.
Who knows, Marissa? He might be one of your next published poets. Mr.
Yeah,
Lewis.
porque buscando para poetas para mañana próxima. Serio, let's go. Vamos a ver.
Lewis.
I need them.
Well,
let's go.
Let's I'll give Lewis your information, and when he's ready to talk about it, you can help him get published.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Marion. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, the letter of intent to publish for the debut authors next year will go out at January, the beginning of January. So if you've never published a debut book of poetry and you're interested, shoot me an email, marissa@redagreenbooks.com, Red, READ. And we'll set up a time to do an interview and talk about your book and see if it's a good fit for our launch next year. But the invitations go out January, very, very early next year. So you gotta, if you want to be in the group lunch, you gotta be on top of that. All right. The rest of it, I'm just so excited. Like, y'all don't even want to mess with next year. It's unfolding to be a gorgeous, gorgeous year next year. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks, Rick, for coming through. Thank you, everyone who's been here. Ja. For those who don't know, Coach Shaw Smalls, if you missed the beginning of the show, Coach Shaw Smalls and I, we did the cover art for American Graveyard, Calls to End Gun Violence. Coach Shaw also wrote the foreword, which is in the book. He's a gun violence survivor. And so what a wonderful way. And he's also a mainstay host at The Word Is Right. And he's one of my best friends. And I totally just love and adore this man. And so what a wonderful way to close the show tonight. And thank you everyone for staying up until the end. I know it's been a long ride. All right, John, let me find you. Let me spotlight you. Where'd you go? Hang on one sec. There you are.
Here,
Let me
find
spotlight you. Hi, I found you.
Yes. Listen, firstly, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. We have to remember as poets, as authors, as writers, a lot of times our message always outlives us. And they always make more of an indent afterwards. So the history today will far pass all of us. And so your purpose for being here is amazing. Like Marissa said, you could have been anywhere in the world, but here's where you were supposed to be. And so your energy is definitely needed in that moment. So thank you first and foremost. Marissa, you already know I love you, mama. It's all good. I'm going to do 2 poems for 17 minutes. No, I'm just playing. I'm going to read a piece that my brother Witz and I have worked on. And I'm going to read another piece that I just wrote tonight during this Zoom right here. And so let's see how it goes. His hands raised, elbows bent and firearm heavy. His eyes fixed on his target, a clear picture. The same as last night, same plight, same color. Just like training day, I've seen his type before. Gung-ho, trigger happy, homegrown, good old boy like the original Dukes of Hazzard, his hands raised from his side, right in line with his target. The same picture, free will pumping through his veins. I've seen his type before. Gun and badge kind of tough guy. A rodeo cowboy. I know it sounds like CNN again. Like primetime news, like innocent people snatched away from big screens and branded on his hand raised from his side. Elbows bent, mic hot. Ready for a sermon, snapping fingers, ready to deliver a eulogy after so many reruns. Those marches have played out now. Boycotts are like foreign language and the people don't want to speak anymore. So who has to save them? This story so familiar. The only surprise is you don't see it on your timeline, but it's right at your next door, the next bar, the next lounge, poet on deck. Blowing a horn ears have not turned into. It's the shooter, excuse me, it's the writer. It's the poet standing at the alarm police refuse to hear, stanzas busting chains and pulling skirts up from the black robes whose favor blue coats because blue lives matter. Black and brown, and those whose last name don't match portfolios with privilege and the only cellmate absent of a cellmate. His hands raised, open palms singing a prayer he hopes God can hear this time. If not me, then who? For surely I turn to thee and I pray, dear God, let this be the last time, ever.
Oh, Ja. You're doing another one though, right?
Yeah. This is the one that I just wrote. I've complained enough about how it feels. Holding a bullet lining the same jawbone, the same side of my heart. Unlike some today, the sun kissed my forehead, and tomorrow's wind still a question mark for me, but for them, this is not true. I've imagined their last moments. The Big Bang followed by a flash, and then darkness took them on to the crossroads. I will admit I am not against guns, but I've learned bullets are unconscious. Their hunger to seek and destroy matches wind and open lungs. I am a wounded soldier, broken arrow, an innocent bystander. I am an armyless man, crushed wing and collapsed lung. Dear God, what have we not done? Of what song have we yet to learn? What dance or prayer hasn't found a language you could accept? I know you hear these guns. Shots fired, bullets busting backyards and back roads where we have to find these songs, these Hail Marys in Jesus' name, a Muslim son with Alhamdulillah wrapped in teardrops folded beneath a crescent-shaped moon, dear God. I know you hear me. A voice buried in a prayer for humans to become human. I've complained long enough. These wounds covered in life others can never remember. Covered in bloodshed no one should ever know. I am from a stolen people, wrapped in a blanket painted in red, white, and bloodshed. I am a soiled canvas, masterpieced in victim of a lesser God and misrepresentation. I am Desert Storm in project buildings, Operation Anybody Dies, swollen behind enemy lines and inner city blues. I am waist deep in someone else's nightmare. A family member who prayed and no one answered. I am an endangered species painted victim and sitting duck, buried outside of privilege, 2 blocks from protection and ceasefire. I am a product of man-made weaponry, trapped behind hellfire and heaven's front door. I am buried and forgotten, too long and too deep for tears.
Yeah, that just happened. Y'all unmute your mics for Coach Shaw Smalls, please.
Excellent job.
I forgot who had said that last line. Are they still here, Marissa?
Who had said the last line? Which last line?
Did you say should be a writing prompt?
Too deep for tears.
Too deep
That
for
was
tears.
Doreen Stock. That was Doreen. I don't believe she
I
is
don't
here.
think she's here. When I heard it, I just kind of moved. So yeah.
Absolutely. As well, we should be moved by one another, with one another, for one another. I challenge anyone to attend any of these readings and not feel something, not feel moved, feel inspired, infuriated, rage, angry, mad, sad, affirmed. Dare I even say hopeful that change may come. So I applaud each and every one of you for being here, and I thank you so very, very much. I will open it up to the floor if anyone wants to unmute, anyone wants to just, applaud for the sake of progress, that this is the something we can do, right?
Before we move forward, Brethren, those are 2 brilliantly written pieces. The word choice in them truly held the gravity of the message. I love what you did with that. I do.
Thanks, bro. If y'all don't know, that's my brother right there.
Like his literal brother.
I'm the old guy. He's the young one.
And I'm taller than him. I'm taller than him. So I'm taller than him, so you can't call me the little brother anymore.
Oh man, I cannot wait to get to North Carolina. It would be so amazing to come and rock it in Charlotte with y'all. Coach Shaw Smalls has a festival coming up in Charlotte, North Carolina in April. So what people got going on, just get yourself to Charlotte in April and New Mexico in September, and then the whole world will make sense after that. I hope. It's not guaranteed, but these are just the things that we can do in a world where we feel very lost. And I'm only one person. What can I do? I'm a poet. I can write about it. Okay, that's great. I can go to an open mic and perform about it. But collectively as a community, we're coming together, and I think really doing something very special. And I do hope and pray next year that we're able to get our book in front of the right places at the right time, to get the right acknowledgement, and to really be able to push forward with the entire concept and heart that is behind this book. So thank you so much, Jaw, for writing a foreword, and thank you for being part of this journey. And thank you for everyone who read today, for your courage, for your tenacity, for your vulnerability in getting into that space and then speaking it publicly. That is not an easy thing to do. And I hope we are perhaps setting the bar and also opening up the opportunities for next year, for things that may come next year. If you've never published a book of poetry and you're interested in doing that next year, please reach out to me. Let me know. If you're interested in helping facilitate as a host for the American Graveyard Podcast Live, let me know. I would love to do that. I think this is an epically important thing. It needs to be every month. We need to have something going on and talking about this. So I would love to continue to move forward with that. And of course, we're always looking for sponsorship. So if you're interested in helping sponsor the next anthology, or interested in helping sponsor the summit that is happening in September, please reach out to us. Let us know. If you have connections in the art world, let me know too, because I want to get the art book into different galleries and have different gallery shows and installations in different art galleries across the US and worldwide too. So let me know if you have any brilliant ideas on that. And if you'd like to be part of our community outreach program, let us know as well. And we meet a couple times a year. A lot of it is brainstorming, coming up with ideas on ways to carry the anthology forward, and working with other different organizations that have come out of gun violence. Other than that, is there anything else anyone else needs, or anything else anyone would like to input before we close tonight? Yes, Gail.
Yeah, I just, it isn't just legislation, that there is this catch-22 of the breakdown in people feeling safe by the structures in their community. And the police, they don't trust the police anymore. And in communities where they do trust the police are improperly funded, and there's not enough police, and people just sit and wait and no one comes. So you have that aspect of people feeling, well, they have to have a gun in the house, and then some kid gets a hold of the gun. And so it's a complex sociological problem as well. And then, in the courts, if you look at domestic violence, we always try to have guns removed when there's any, how can that be stopped? Well, it could be some legislation along those lines too. Anybody that goes in for a divorce or breakup before there's domestic violence has to turn in their guns as part of the initial beginning, right? So I just think there's some other aspects that are greatly, if you speak to some average American up here in the Northern California towns, they'll tell you, well, you call the police, they're not, if somebody's breaking in, they ain't even going to get there because there aren't enough police, and nobody wants to be a policeman anymore, right? So they say, well, I think we better have a gun in our house, not because they're violent, but they're afraid. And then the kid gets a hold of the gun, and then there's a whole scenario, So I just think that we want to look at that aspect of how to control guns as well. It's really a lot deeper than just the congressional approval.
Absolutely. And I do want to emphasize, this anthology and these readings is not a call for an abolition of the Second Amendment. It's calling for an abolition to gun violence, right? It's so people who are responsible gun owners who, they carry their registered weapons in the places they're supposed to for the reasons that they're supposed to have a gun. This is, this is not knocking any of the responsible gun owners at all. But we are talking about wanting to reduce the events of gun violence, especially on the young and the innocent populations. And suicide, the number one cause of death for children is gunshot wounds, and the number one mode of death for suicide is through gunshot wound as well. So we're not just talking about people who can access assault style weapons, or who can 3D print ways to engage a gun to fire a lot more bullets than it's supposed to be capable of doing, right? This goes so far beyond that. And of course, legislation can only do so much. Lawyers can only press so many charges, and then, police have got to go arrest them. Judges got to keep them in jail. And, there's all these things that happen, right? And so many times the legal system has their hands tied as well. So
that's just there's a breakdown in the structure.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
So, AJ Houston and I talk a lot on 707 about voting and voting rights and who's up for election in your community. And perhaps, if they're running unopposed, maybe you should go run against them. Even if it's city council, not you, Gail, but like in general, even if it's city council, even if it's your PTA, even if it's like your local community center, like what locally can you do to continue to broaden that? That's the only way, go to the polls, go vote, go change. This is the only way that things are going to really begin to happen. All of these people are elected officials, the judges, the sheriffs, the mayors, the city councils, the public school districts. They're all elected positions. And so we should do, we need to do our job and either run or vote and help to become part of the solution for that. And hopefully we can not send our children to college with the run, hide, fight song. You're right. I don't think run, hide, fight should be the fight song that we send our kids to school. We should send them off with ramen, a microwave, and like not the Bible, but you know what I'm saying? Like a book of poetry, Coach Oswald's book of poetry. We got to send them to school, not thinking that they're going to be having to fight for their life. And so, something has to change. If it is to be, it is up to me, and together we all rise, and we're going to continue to do so. But yeah,
Marissa, before you end, I want to say this to the folks that are in here. Also, if you in your city, everyone has a museum of some sort in their city. And a lot of times, museums are looking for programs that they can do, and especially right now. And so, if you in your local area, check with your museum and see if they'd be interested in hosting a reading of the book, because a lot of my work I've gotten through museum, I'll say that. And so I know that this works. And they don't always have a lot of money, but when they have certain projects come in, this is an opening for it. And it may be a good chance to get the word out a little more. So please, if you have a museum close by and if without taking you out of your way, I know you're busy, I don't want to make you work, but speak to the person at the museum. They may be very well interested in this. In fact, there's monies that they can get to bring on an events that we can have some, maybe not every poet here in the book there, but some poets that are easy to get to and have them come there and actually do reading and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind as you in your uptown area, talk to your museum folks and see if they'll be interested, and have them reach out to Marissa, and we can make it work.
And most towns and cities have an arts council that is funded through taxpayer dollars. So damn it, if I'm gonna pay my damn taxes, y'all gotta bring me some poetry, right? That's a totally true. So Cynical Insomniac has just joined us. Hi, Sen. We are running very, very forward. We're really ahead for the night. We're actually just closing down. But since you're on the list to read tonight, if you would like to read your poem now, I'm more than happy to host you in your reading. Things have they really moved up to tonight.
Yeah, give me like 2 seconds to find it. Sure. 1 sec.
No problem. But anyways, so you can grab your copies of American Graveyard at redorgreenbooks.com. You can grab both of them together if you want. Contributors, if you need author copies, let me know for the holidays. Let me know ASAP for the holidays. And of course, there is Sponsor a Senator, which is on the website. So you can you pay for it on the website. We'll anonymously send the book to a U.S. state senator of your choice. Gail, did you have something else? I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, no. I was just thinking myself that my literary group up here, but I wasn't, if they would be interested, I'll ask them,
And if people are going to different types of festivals or different kinds of events, or you're doing fundraisers and you want, I'll send you a couple books you can put for a fundraiser or for a silent auction or for something, this is so not a problem. As long as I have the resources and the supplies on hand, I will absolutely do that. Hi, Cynical Insomniac's here. It feels like freaking forever since I've seen this woman. So Ja was closing us out, but we're going to now have Sin close us out, and then we'll really be done. We'll really be done for the night. So let me spotlight you, Cynical, and feel free to take it away. There you go.
Okay. So I'm Cynical Insomniac, spoken word artist in North Carolina, and this whole project was very important to me because I have not just this piece about this project. I not this piece about this topic. I have many many, far too many pieces about this topic because there need to be. Nothing will change if we don't stop shouting about it. So my piece is called Exit Wound. As soon as we are no longer scared to leave our houses, mass shootings pick back up in America. So really, we do have another reason to be scared to leave the house in the morning. We make sure we have our mask in our bag, but really, we should also have a bulletproof vest in the back. It doesn't matter where we're going. It could be to work, to school, to the store, to a funeral, to church. It doesn't matter what direction you point your tar towards. Where you could end up could be your last destination, and we don't even think about it anymore. We see a mass shooting on the news and think, oh, shit, not another one. And if you're anything like me, you'll think something along the lines of, oh, please, God, not kids again. But then immediately feel bad because, please, God, not anyone again. But the news washes over us with no resistance, like crystal clear water eroding a stone. We accept our poison reality with sighing resignation, shaking our heads and letting out a breath and feeling hurt in our chest for those lost. But then we do nothing but send our thoughts and our prayers, and that is not enough. It's time that we stop pretending it like it is. It's time we start pretending that people in this country are responsible enough to handle the responsibility of gun ownership without regularly murdering their fellow citizens. It's time we stop protecting the bastardization of a constitutional right over protecting people's lives. What's that saying? Never bring a knife to a gunfight. Well, that's us right now. One big gunfight. Our fingers on the trigger. We're holding our breath. We're dooming ourselves to a present of death and a future of nothing but exit wounds, and we continue to do nothing because our rights are more important than the lives of our neighbors. Our guns are more important than the smiles of our children, and it's time we either admit that reality or do something to change it. Please, God, not kids again. Please, God, not anyone again. Please, God, not me next time. Please, God, don't let there be a next time. But until we actually act and do more than shake our heads, there will always be a next time. One big gunfight. And it's not a question of what you've brought to the fight. It's a question of whose draw is faster. So pull that bulletproof vest tight around you as you go about your daily lives, because really you're going into battle. One big gunfight. And as of now, there will always be a next time.
Oh, y'all, unmute your mics. Give Cynical Insomniac, please, some love. What she said in that opening, like, oh no, not kids again, but then oh no, not again. It's that constant internal struggle that we feel whenever we hear the news report of another mass shooting. In fact, there were so many mass shootings that they had to change the matrix of what was considered a mass shooting. It used to be 3 people. 3 people shot was a mass shooting. Now it's 4. Not including the shooter. So, like, are we just going to continue to, like, raise the debt ceiling? Are we going to continue to just, like, you know, how many bodies is enough? So that internal struggle is real. I feel that, Sin, for sure. Especially people who work in education. Like, y'all are the new soldiers. It's not on the resume. But thank you for being here. I'm glad we were able to get you in and you were able to read. Don't forget, if anyone wants to come and be part of the American Graveyard podcast live, let me know, please. Once a month, an hour, 2 hours. Usually it's like an hour podcast. So if anyone wants to come and do that, I think that this is a wonderful momentum to continue the work that we're doing here. And you should receive emails sometime next year, hopefully at the beginning of next year, about Volume 2. If anyone is interested in helping sponsor the anthologies or sponsor events around this anthology, please let me know. It takes a great deal of funding to do what we do, and especially if we're looking to get the art book out into museums and into art galleries. That'll be a wonderful thing. Otherwise, I invite you all to unmute, share love with each other. Here, I'll do an invite you all to unmute. Share love, share camaraderie, share community with each other. And thank you all for being here. Everyone's gone quiet now.
Woo! Nice to meet everybody. Nice to hear from everyone.
Everyone did a wonderful, stupendous, spectacular, and stupendous, and marvelous job. Woo!
All right. Well, I thank you all so very much for being here. And I send you peace and blessings for the holiday season. If anyone needs anything, you can always reach out to me independently and one-on-one. It doesn't matter if it's about this or anything else that you might be struggling with or you need, or anything else you're curious about, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here not only on this project for all of you, but also as an independent person who I can hold space very well for people. So yeah.
That's double for you. Remember that we love you.
We love you too, Poetastic, whose new name is now Fantastic. Fantastic, Poetastic. Thank you so much. If you have not had a chance, please like, share, subscribe, follow to all of our stuff on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That allows us to continue to build the matrix around the reasons why we're doing this. You can take the video and share it, please, and tag the hashtags American Graveyard. All those things help continue to move the book along and continue to move things forward. Otherwise, if there's anything else I can do for anyone, I'm here. Happy holidays, peace and blessings. Thank you all for your courage, for your love, for your tenacity, and for your very, very strong pens and being part of this beautiful, beautiful book. I will see you all in 2024.
You too.
Bye, everyone.